Okay, we're live. Let's see here. It is 1:14 in the morning. Very, very early Sunday morning. It is 1/18/2026. Let's see here. We got Paula's in here. Good to see Paula. Hi Paula, how are you? Good to see you. We got Lita Joe in here. Good to see Carol. Um, we got Tracy's in here. Good to see Tracy. It's always good to see you. Mino Dino's in here. Hey, Mino Dino, good to see you. We got Brian's in here. Uh, I'm 47 subs until 1,000. I was on your live the other night. You were in the hospital. I hope you're okay. Um, I was on there for a while, and then I noticed that you were sleeping in there, so I didn't want to, you know, I hope you're okay. But that's good. 47 subs. Let's see if we can get it for you. Beasley's here. It's good to see Beasley. Good to see everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. I went to get my physical yesterday. I got 3 shots. I got poked 3 times, and boy, do I feel like shit today. But anyways, let's see what's going on here. We have it's good to see Beasley for sure, and Sweet Dude Shibby's in here. Good to see you, Sweet Dude. I know you were live tonight. I was watching the football games. Hope I'm not cutting in. Hope you're done. Anyways, we're going to get into the True Crime Weekly. Good to see Mino Dino here, though. Hope Mino Dino's good. There's Brian's channel right there. Good to see Brian in here. Hopefully we can get him 47 more subs until he hits the goal. And Dewey Ox is in here. Good to see Dewey Ox. FarQ is here. Good to see FarQ. Listening while you eat. That's the best thing. That's the best way to do it. All right, so let me play an intro. We'll get going. We're going to do True Crime Cases of the Week. We got the Missing Person Case of the Week and some other wrap-up stuff for stuff that we've covered last week, I think. So let me play my intro. I'll be right back. You guys are awesome. Hope, like I said, hope everybody's doing well. Let's see here. All right, I'll be right back, play my intro, and we'll get this thing going. See you in a sec. Okay, so we're back. Crazy at work in bed before you go on. You're still reading but chatting. Okay, cool. We got Paula's in here. We got Tracy's in there. Tracy's amazing. How's Heather doing? Has anybody heard from Heather? I haven't seen Heather for a while. I hope she's okay. But anyways, let's get going. If anybody knows what's going on with Heather, let me know. Anyways, we're gonna get. I got a couple things I want to go over first to kind of clear them out the list here. I know we covered this in a second here, and we'll play that too. So let's go here first of all, and clear this out of the list here. Heather's good, just being lazy, I bet. Okay, thanks, buddy. Good for her. All right, so we covered this a few weeks ago here. This is a guy. who was caught in a pursuit. I don't know if he was caught in a pursuit, but he was chased by state police, and then he crashed his car. But he's being suspected in his girlfriend's unaliving. So let's play this here so I can get rid of this off of my list here. Play a couple of these here. This one was done 6 hours ago here. We'll play this. Hold on a second.
Wanted in Maine led Massachusetts police on a chase into New Hampshire. WMUR's Maria Wilson joins us.
Yeah, it's one thing to be, going on a speed chase in good weather, but when you start trying to outrun police on snowy, icy roads here, you're probably not going to end well.
Live from Dunbarton, where that crash ended, Maria.
Yeah, John, officials say that Maine man killed his girlfriend on Wednesday. The search for him.
Scrabble? We've been dumped by Scrabble. Yikes.
Spanning 3 New England states and then coming to a dramatic end here in Dunbarton, where officials say his car crashed. He was then taken to the hospital. The suspect, Dane Burke, is wanted in Skowhegan.
I would have left him there. I mean, if he's going to be that stupid.
Maine, for allegedly killing his girlfriend, 46-year-old Nicole Jackson, on Wednesday. The 55-year-old man was arrested around 10:30 this morning after leading police on a multi-state chase, which started in Lowell, Massachusetts, and then continued through Dracut and Methuen before crossing up into New Hampshire through I-9.
Yeah, that's a first. Like, when I get cheated on by Scrabble, then that's, you're old. Oh.
Maine State Police tell us that the chase came to an end when Burke crashed his car into a tree on Route 13.
What a dumbass. Like, literally a dumbass. Look at these roads.
Here in Dunbarton. After that crash, he is said to have barricaded himself inside his silver Jeep Compass. That prompted a SWAT team to respond. Officers fired non-lethal rounds before taking Burke into custody. He was then taken to the hospital. The New Hampshire State Police describing those injuries as serious, but at this point, it's not clear if those injuries were from the crash itself or from those non-lethal rounds. He will eventually be extradited back up to Maine, where he will face a murder charge. He also faces other charges here in New Hampshire as well as in Mass. For now,
they should have a charge for dumbass, just like a felony dumbass charge. Like, you're just a dumbass.
We are live here in Dunbarton. Maria Wilson, WMUR News 9.
All right, I think this is kind of the same thing here. And then we'll play this one here too, because we haven't heard from this guy in a while. I think it's this one here. Right here, yes.
We do want to start you off with some breaking news here tonight at 6. The suspect wanted for the murder of a Skowhegan woman Wednesday, arrested.
It's Southern Gal. Southern Gal's here. Hey, Southern Gal, good to see you. Did they miss non-lethal? I don't know. Can I watch your live? On my life? Yes, you can. You can do whatever you want. Did anyone see the guy that 5 times by police in his own business they thought he was a burglar? Are you kidding me? Oh, I'll have to look into that one. Good to see Southern Gal here, though. Southern Gal's amazing. Doms is here. Good to see Doms. No problem. Shibby's awesome. Shibby's got a great channel. I just haven't been able to get over there. I've been really busy lately. But Shibby's awesome. Does great stuff over there. Yeah, absolutely. Whatever you want to do is fine. Let's get back into this. It's good to see Southern Gal in here, though. Southern Gal's amazing. She's got a great channel. She's probably the best on the planet doing this stuff here. She's just a classic. Good to see Dom's in here too, though.
In New Hampshire this morning after a multi-state chase. We first brought you the story earlier this week after a woman was found dead in Skowhegan Wednesday night. And tonight, neighbors are speaking with Maine's Total Coverage about what they experienced that night. Ronnie Perillo has the story.
Right here is actually where he came up to our front door.
This is the
See, I changed cell phone service carriers about a year ago. Verizon was just getting to be way too expensive, so I got another carrier now. So I used to be listening and driving all the time, but I can't listen and drive all the time anymore because there's so many dead spots around here. Plus, it's been, the weather. I think we've had like 2 or 3 different ice storms. So, and it's, when it's slick, I try to turn off that stuff there. But the Jocelyn's here. Turn left, run is here. Where's Jocelyn? There's Jocelyn right there. Hi, Jocelyn. Good to see you. Jocelyn's amazing too. I think it's Butterfly Kisses. I could be wrong. But she's great too. After Dave's done, I'll be reading more on stuff if you want, Kay. Yes. We love Shibby. Shibby's classic. Good to see Jocelyn in here, though. Turn left, run is in here. Good to see a lot of new people. I'm here on phone. Shibby is on laptop. Fantastic. All right, so we'll finish this up here, and then we'll move on to something else.
The video sending a chill down Tommy Ignofo's spine. It shows who he says is 55-year-old Dane Burke, the scout.
Whoops. All right, hold on one second. I just screwed up here. Hold on one second here. Right here. Oh, I got a new thing on here. I'm gonna try this here. Hold on one second. Check this out. This is really funny shit here. Hold on. Ready? Let me get rid of my face. How about the gong? Here comes the applause. Ready? I'll play the applause when we get another dumbass like this guy here. Ready? Wicked class. All right. Let me get out of here and do this. All right.
Live literally right here, and that property is the property in question.
Tommy and his business partner Max live in a camper in Skowhegan, just feet away from where they say Burke lives. They travel around.
You know me with buttons, right? Anytime there's new buttons or something like that. Yeah, this drum roll. Ready? All right, I'll stop. Daisy asks us here. Good to see Amy G's in here. Amy G is amazing. She's another one of those. She's just great. Good to see Amy G in here for sure. Again, another channel I try to get over. She's great because she's on. Usually she's on early in the morning, so I get a chance to see that when I get home. Here we go.
Maine, working in the solar industry. When they returned,
She made me a mod. Isn't that funny? Okay, sorry.
home from a trip at around 2 a.m. Thursday, they found their home surrounded by squad cars. They say they never noticed anything about the man who's now accused of.
So we're just covering this case here in New Hampshire. Here, this guy here went on apparently unalived this woman from Maine, and he went on a driving spree all over the place here in New England here, and he was finally caught after he crashed his freaking car. Just a real dumbass.
Of killing his girlfriend.
He's been helpful. We've helped him quite a few times. So like, had we been home and he knocked on their door, we would have been.
Criminal Network is here. That's awesome. Hiawatha's here. I don't know about that. But it's always good to be made a mod on like a channel like Southern Gal and Daisy Asks, because those are really good creators. I mean, like really top-notch creators there. Good to see Hiawatha here too. Always good to see everybody here. I hope everybody's well. There's a lot of shit going around. So just be careful. It's that time of the year.
Very open, like without our guard up whatsoever.
Police say Burke was arrested Saturday morning in Dunbarton, New Hampshire, after leading police.
Okay, so these trees right here. Hold on a second. These trees usually don't move when you hit them. So, I mean, if you what an idiot.
After leading police on a chase up I-93 starting in Lowell, Massachusetts. He eventually crashed into this tree. Police say he barricaded himself inside his Jeep Compass, officers eventually arresting him. But for Tommy and Max, they say they won't soon forget where they say this all happened.
It's a little bit of a head scratcher. It's pretty crazy.
Burke has now been hit with a murder charge in Maine and will be sent to a New Hampshire jail once he's released from the hospital. He also faces charges in New Hampshire and Massachusetts. I'm Ronnie Perillo for Maine's Total Coverage.
All right, so that'll end the chapter on that. I'll keep an eye on that there, but I wanted to hold on a second. I wanted to play something else that I saw here. This guy right here. Hold on one second. So I'll keep an eye on that one there. But I just ran into this one too. This we covered this last summer. Remember the woman who was paddleboarding, the unaliving of the woman paddleboarder there in Maine. They caught the kid that did it. But this is a follow-up. New information about the Maine teen charged with the paddleboarders unaliving in Maine. So this is what they're going to charge him with. A police report obtained by this channel here reveals the Waldo County Sheriff's Office more than 2 years before he was arrested for the July 25th unaliving of Sunshine Stewart at Crawford Pond. Remember, we covered this. So here's this here. We'll play this. I don't know why they're doing this now, but here we go. Oops, hold on. Let me share this 1 second here. Right here. You guys remember this, right? We were trying to figure out where she was at Crawford Pond there.
Just obtained by 8 Investigates, revealing new information about the teenager accused of killing Sunshine Stewart at a campground in July.
Nora Hogan just got these records less than an hour ago using Maine's public records law.
So this is the first I've heard about anything going on in this case since they found him. So this must be the what they're charging him with.
Nora, you've been going through them, and what have you learned? What have you found out?
Yeah, well, Megan, John, this report is from one police visit. The police report reveals that the Waldo County Sheriff's Office visited Devin Young's home in Frankfort in January of 2023.
So, like I said, if you got channels, there's some great creators in here. Gretchen's here. Good to see Gretchen. I know we got Shibby in here. We got Paula Fitzhenry's in here. She got a great channel. There's Daisy Asks right there. I'm pretty sure Criminal Network's got a channel too. So if you have channels, feel free to throw them in the chat. I have no problem promoting great creators because there's a lot of them in here. Senegal's in here somewhere. There she is right there. So feel free to, Brian's in here somewhere too. He only needs 47, 46 or so subscribers until he gets to 1,000. So feel free to throw your channel chats in here.
More than 2 years before he was arrested for the murder of Sunshine Stewart. He was 15 years old at the time. According to this report, Young was a special ed student. He told his teacher that he had gotten punched in the eye. He was punched by someone outside the school, unclear who, due to an altercation over outdoor chores. Young blamed himself for being confrontational. Now, this report led police to make a house call. The names of the people they interviewed are redacted. The report shows that Young was struggling. He had spent time at a psychiatric facility and adult.
The school had been seeing Devin's behavior and has had to go to school to pick up Devin because he was fighting with kids.
We're constantly having to remind him to take his medication for ADHD and
what does this have to do with her? I don't understand what this
defiance disorder. And he was getting in trouble in and out of school, punching holes in the wall at home and getting into fights with kids in the classroom. At this point, Young had a Department of Health and Human Services caseworker.
I hope I just don't disappoint there, buddy. There's Southern gal right there. She's awesome. She does he have a picture of the black guy? I don't know. And there's Jocelyn too. Anybody wants to wrench, let me know. That way you can throw your channels in the chat. Like I said, I have no problem promoting great channels. I know there's a lot of them in here, but Southern gal's amazing. She does this for me when I'm doing this stuff, so that's great. And Jocelyn too.
Worker assigned to his family. The police officer who visited the house gave the adults some resources to help them deal with the behavioral issues and encouraged them to reach out to that caseworker. It's unclear what happened after that. Authorities made multiple visits, it seems, but some of those records will remain confidential. Meanwhile, it's been very hard to get details about this case since Young was a minor at the time of this crime. Next up, the court will decide whether he should be tried as an adult in a bind-over hearing. We know that will be a closed hearing. We will not be able to listen in to that proceeding, but we will continue to closely follow this case. For Investigates, I'm Nora Hogan.
Okay, so I don't know what that has to do with her. Pretty sure you guys remember that we covered that over the summer here, and I'm just now hearing about this. So hold on a second here. Okay, so hold on one second. I'm trying to. So we'll play this one here to give people kind of a rundown of what's going on with this case here. Hold on one second here. Thank you, Jocelyn, for doing that. This is kind of like a review of this case here. This is Devin Young here. He's being accused of unaliving this Sunshine Stewart case back in July. She was found at the lake there, and they were looking for a suspect at that campground for like a few days. So then they finally caught this kid.
Accused of killing Sunshine Stewart is due in court.
That status conference will be closed to the public because he's a minor, but down the road, the state will argue their case for why he should be tried.
You guys are the best. I really appreciate everybody doing these posts in here because it would literally take me forever to do it, and I just don't have forever. So I appreciate everybody doing this for me. These are great channels, and your Southern Gal's amazing. Criminal Network is amazing too. I've been over there a lot. And then of course Amy G for sure.
As an adult.
So 8 Investigates is asking, what are the state's odds of success and what does that process look like? Nora Hogan digs into the data and sits down with a criminal defense attorney for new insight.
We obtained data from the judicial branch that says since 2010, the state has attempted to try 65 minors as adults. Only 29% of those cases were ultimately bound over to criminal court. To put that in context, last year alone, there were over 2,000 instances when a juvenile was referred to the Department of Corrections for some level of discipline or rehabilitation. Most cases involving minors are handled in juvenile court, but the state can request a bind-over hearing for the most serious of crimes.
I just feel that the bind-over process itself is contradictory to all that we know about what it means to be a child.
Most cases are kept in juvenile court with the understanding that a teenager's brain is still developing and some early criminal conduct may be the product of child abuse.
When we're imprisoning very young people, we are denying them the ability to get better. And that's a choice.
During the bind-over hearing, the judge will consider how serious the crime is, whether the juvenile had a violent history, whether they present a serious danger to others, and what rehabilitation options exist outside of criminal court.
I think what happens in bind-over process here in Maine is that first.
Yeah, we love Southern Girl. Me and Southern Girl go way back to the days where we used to have so much fun on the Steve channel there late at night when he used to do his overnight chats. Southern Gal's an amazing person. All right, so hold on one second. I want to give people kind of like a idea of where the hell we are. Hold on. So this was done, like I said, over the summer. I think we did 2 or 3 lives on this because this is Crawford Pond here. technically South Union. There's a Micmac campground there. That's where she was staying. And then she was paddleboarding around here, and they found her on one of these islands out here. Let me give you an idea of where the hell we are. And this community here is like, you can't just go here. You got to be invited in. This is kind of like private, all of this stuff here. I've been up here before, lost for sure. But she was found in here somewhere, and they were looking for the suspect. And she wasn't from here, though. But let me give you an idea of where we are. So there's Rockport there. So it's basically due west of Rockport. For those who don't know where Maine is, it's basically, I think, due north of, say, it's just way out here in the east. There's nothing here, literally nothing here. But it's way past. I was actually going to go up here, remember? But this is like a 5-6 hour drive for me. It would take me forever to get here. And by the time I was thinking about going up there, they found the guy that did it. All right, so let's go back here. Hold on a second here. What the hell am I doing here? Sorry about that. I don't know how I feel about charging him as an adult here, but obviously what he did was terrible. I don't know why. It just doesn't make any sense to me why he would do that. And I don't think we're getting any answers.
First factor, which is the seriousness of the crime, I think that takes over everything.
Criminal court comes with the possibility of much longer sentences. For murder, if the defendant was under 18 years old at the time of the crime, they face a sentence of 25 years to up to anything short of life in prison.
If the child is not bound over, then the maximum penalty is up to the age of 21. And if they are bound over, it's up to them dying in prison. I mean, that's what's at stake here.
For that reason, the bind-over hearing is often considered the most important part of these cases. Sometimes it stretches.
I mean, the thing is, like, I don't understand why he would have done this. I don't think he knew her. She was just minding her own business, paddleboarding up there. It just doesn't make any sense. But who knows? Maybe he has, some sort of, obviously he's got some sort of mental issue going on. I just don't know. I don't know. They haven't really said a lot. I'm just seeing this shit now, so.
Is on for multiple days. It'll take both sides some time to prepare for. Right now, it's unclear when Devin Young's hearing will be scheduled. In recent years, we've seen several cases that were bound over, including Antilio Delgado's. He recently pleaded guilty to killing James Clooney in 2022 when he was 16 years old. In court records associated with that case, the state argued that juvenile court was inappropriate, in part because holding him only until he turned 21 would diminish the gravity of his offense, intentional murder.
I just think that's a bad idea, just to hold them till 21. I mean, I don't know. It's just me.
He was sentenced to 25 years in jail, the mandatory minimum. So far, we've had very limited access to court documents in this case, and similarly, it's difficult to learn anything about cases.
I mean, she was literally just minding her own business. Like I said, that's not a campground that you can just go to. There's a lot of public state parks and stuff around there. You have to literally be invited into that area. It's not like it's very private. So I don't know why he would be there unaliving her at that time. It just doesn't make any sense to me. But what do I know? I don't know. So I'll keep an eye on it. All right, let's go to here because we covered this last week too, and this is kind of like a recap on this here. This might be a little triggering, so hold on one second here. These are the parents that are being charged for. A member of this kid was missing last week, and we went over this. They found him a couple of weeks later. They've charged the parents with criminal something. I forgot. We covered it last week. But graphic new accusations revealed against mom, stepfather of the missing boy. Trying to remember the name now. There we go. There's just too many of these stories here.
Accusations were leveled today against the boy's mother, Kim Cole, and his stepdad, George Cole Jr.
And tonight we know George Cole attempted to hang himself in his jail cell after hearing those charges in court.
News 4's Adria Goins was there as he.
This is going to be very triggering. Remember this case? We covered it last week, and they finally found this kid.
He was rushed to the hospital. She's also hearing from rescuers about how the boy stayed hidden for so long.
Latoya's here. Good to see Latoya. Haven't seen you for a while. Happy birthday. Hold on a second. I think I got something for you because I don't have a birthday song. How about this one? Give him a button and see what happens. Well, happy birthday. Eventually, I'll get a really, really annoying birthday song like Gray Hughes, maybe. I don't know what to tell you.
George Cole Jr. was rushed from the Caddo County Detention Center Monday afternoon after he attempted to hang himself inside his cell. We know that he is now in a hospital receiving treatment. An ambulance with sirens blaring seen leaving the Caddo County Detention Center, allegedly carrying George Cole Jr. to an area hospital moments earlier. He went before a judge here.
You got upset yesterday? Why? I hope you're okay. Yeah, don't ever give me buttons because it's just right. I hope you're okay, Latoya.
Hearing his 14 charges, including child abuse and neglect. Bond set at $2.5 million.
So $2.5 million for child abuse and neglect. I remember we went over it last week with what the actual charge was and what it means, but
Investigators say Cole used a taser, cattle probe, and nightstick to beat the boy. He's also
oh my God. Oh my God. Really? Oh.
also accused of zip tying and handcuffing the child in their home. Kim Cole also faces many of the same charges for abuse, as well as 2 counts of crimes against nature.
That's the one. So the crimes against nature is on her. All right, so let's back this up. Hold on a second. These people. Oh, the taser.
Probe and nightstick
So
to beat the boy.
This is the abuse. This is the child endangerment abuse here.
He's also accused of zip tying and handcuffing the child in their home. Kim Cole also faces many of the same charges for abuse, as well as 2 counts of crimes against nature. She allegedly forced her children to watch porn.
What? Are you guys hearing this shit?
Documents say both parents forced the boy to eat hot sauce as a punishment. The 2 were arrested days after they reported.
What? Why would somebody do this? This is stupid. Why would somebody do this? To eat Louisiana hot sauce as punishment. Where did they get the Louisiana hot sauce? Well, that's a Class A felony right there.
The 2 were arrested days after they reported Cole's son missing in Chickasha.
He's built to survive. He's a survivor.
These 3.
Well, he was, I think, 8. Ryan, we did a whole thing on him last week. But I didn't know that they had this many charges against the parents. I know the mom is the biological parent, but the dad is a stepdad. So I don't know where the actual dad is. I think somebody said last week he had passed away. I'm not sure. But these people, if they did this, these people are just absolutely horrible people.
3 men, part of the United Cajun Navy, found the boy Sunday missing for 10 days.
Nobody could.
I should just ask Tracy. I should just know to ask Tracy. Ryan Davis, right? I got Ryan Larson in my head for some reason because we covered that case a few weeks ago too. Thank you, Tracy, for sure. I should just ask. 12. He's 12. Yep.
Find him. He didn't want to be found.
They found him after 3 hours of searching, focusing on an area near his family's land, already searched twice by law enforcement.
He had shelter. We were kind of shocked because we just turned around and he was there in the open. So not what we were expecting. But
weird. Why did it happen?
The team describing how the boy managed to stay undetected and fed for more than a week.
He was coming out of his hidey hole at night and refilling the one water bottle he had and kind of just scavenging around. There was like some hiking food, MRE type stuff that he had gotten into.
The rescuers bringing him to the hotel, doubling as a makeshift headquarters to get checked out before he was taken to the hospital. Adria Goins, Oklahoma's News 4.
We are thankful for those rescuers. George Cole Jr., who is still in the hospital, is expected to be back in court in April.
Okay, so I'll keep an eye on that. That's just that's just terrible. Well, let's hope he finds better life than that. I mean, that's just these people are sickos. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so let's move on. I'll keep following that. I want to cover this case here too, because this came up on my feed the other day. And I know they were looking for this girl here. Hold on one second. It just gets worse and worse and worse. It sure does. So this happened a couple days ago too. I was following this until they found her. That's probably how I got the 8-year-old mixed up here. Hold on a second here. All right, so this is coming out. Community remains on lockdown after the body of an 8-year-old girl found in northern Arizona here. I don't know what's going on with my computer. Malika Boone was last seen on Thursday evening on Cedar Loop in Coal Mine, Arizona, in the Navajo County, before she was found deceased. So let's play this here.
Joining us for 12 News at 10, I'm Kadiba Devine.
Now, Mark Curtis, tonight a community remains on lockdown after the body of a missing 8-year-old girl was found this afternoon on the Navajo Nation.
Malika Boone was reported missing yesterday, and tonight the FBI and Navajo authorities are actively investigating the child's disappearance and her death.
She was last seen last night on Cedar Loop in the Coal Mine Canyon area east of Tuba City near Flagstaff. 12 News journalist Kyle Simchuk is in Coal Mine Canyon tonight with the latest.
Well, this small Native community is under lockdown until further notice. We're about 4 hours northeast of Phoenix, and as we were driving into town, there was a checkpoint. They're checking to see who is coming and going, and they would not let us pass through. We do know the FBI is actively investigating the death and disappearance of 8-year-old Malika Boone. She was last seen on foot around 6 p.m. Thursday in the Coal Mine Canyon area, which is where we are now. Malika's family became concerned and told authorities it was out of character for her not to come home. About 10 hours after she was last seen, a turquoise alert was issued. A search team was launched. It included Navajo police, DPS, U.S. Marshals, and the
It's Nicole Watt. Good to see Nicole. How are you? I hope you're well. It's always good to see Nicole in here. This is just horrible. I'll try to find out where the hell they are. This is in northern Arizona here. I got another one here to play on this one here too.
The FBI, and sadly, they found the 8-year-old's body earlier this afternoon, not far from where she vanished. Now, authorities have not revealed much else.
Oh, that's so sad. Look at her. She's so cute. Oh.
We don't know how the 8-year-old died, and police would not reveal whether or not they're looking for any suspects. Navajo police and the FBI are asking people to remain inside their homes as they continue to investigate. Now, I did speak with someone who is in touch with Malika's family. She told me they are in shock and going through unimaginable grief. Anyone with information is asked to contact Navajo police or the FBI at 1-800-CALL-FBI. We're outside of Tuba City in Coal Mine Canyon. Kyle Simchuk, 12 News.
All right, Kyle, thank you for that report.
Did he say Tuba City or all right, hold on one second. I got one more of these. Hold on a second. I'll play this one here. Let me switch screens here. Hold on 2 seconds here. Can you sub to my French channels? Absolutely. Thank you, Tracy. Yes, absolutely. You can throw them in here, Latoya. It's always good to see you, Latoya, for sure. Tracy is like a yes, of course I can, Latoya. tuba, like the instrument tuba. All right, we'll play this one here. This is in the middle of nowhere. I can tell you that much right now.
Hey, Jamie. Well, this is an absolute tragedy for this small community. Malika Molly Boone was just 8 years old when she died, and this has already sent a ripple effect of sadness across the Navajo Nation. Now, according to Navajo police, Boone first went missing around 6 p.m. yesterday when she was seen playing near a Navajo Housing Authority complex. Now, her disappearance sparked concern from her family as they told police it's unusual for her to be out of sight for a long period of time. And she was last seen wearing a red jacket, jeans, and a cowboy hat. The search began last night and continues this morning, but the turquoise alert for Boone was sent out just before 5 a.m. That has now since been canceled. Sometime today, Boone.
Yes, absolutely, Latoya. Thank you, Shibby. Hope you're doing well over there. His channel is Mad Matt TV. Okay, thank you. All right, let's get a bearing of where the hell we are here. Let's see here. Tuba City. Why does that name sound familiar? Have we been out here before? So there's Tuba City there. Got some pictures here. Look at this. Isn't this awesome? This is beautiful here. She was found out here. Look at this here. Wow. Beautiful place. All right, so let's go back. It's good to see Gretchen in here too. I haven't seen Gretchen for a while. I hope you're well. Let me go back to this here. Yes, that's a beautiful place. Much better than here right now. I can tell you that much right now. We just got another 4 inches of snow, and it's going to snow again tomorrow. So, welcome to winter.
Boone was found dead in the coal mine area, and so far, that's all we know. The FBI is working this case with Navajo Police Department. And police do have the city blocked off at this point. You can see them behind me blocking off the road. They're currently asking residents to stay inside their homes or near their homes while they're conducting.
I wonder why they're asking people to stay inside their homes. That's weird. Does anybody think that's weird? We'll play one more here. Did we already play that one? So this was done. This was the turquoise date. So they had a turquoise alert. I got that one, I think. Did we play that one? We played that one. No, we played that one. Let's try this one here.
A tragic situation unfolded today after the search for a missing 8-year-old in northern Arizona has turned into a death investigation.
This morning, a turquoise alert was issued for 8-year-old Malika Boone. She was last seen yesterday on Cedar Loop in the Coal Mine Canyon area.
So that's where we are, Coal Mine Canyon.
Area east of Tuba City near Flagstaff. Tram Mai is here now with the latest on the case. Tram.
Yeah, Mark and Karibe, this is so sad. Not a lot of information has been released yet, but the Navajo Police Department says police, the FBI, and the Navajo Department of Criminal Investigation are investigating the, quote, disappearance and death of Malika Boone. Public safety officials say Boone was last seen playing in a housing area Thursday evening around 6 o'clock. Her family reported her missing, saying that they were concerned for the 8-year-old's welfare since it was out of character for her to be gone for an extended period of time. A turquoise alert was then issued, and around 1:30 this afternoon, officials announced that the alert had been canceled and the investigation into Boone's death and disappearance was ongoing. Navajo police say the coal mine area will be on lockdown until further notice. In a news release, they wrote all residents will be asked to.
See here. We got Duck and Felonies is in here. Good to see Duck and Felonies. Hope you're well. If you need a ride, Dewey's van has a water bed. Okay, sure. I used to have a van with a waterbed a long time ago. Good to see Duck and Felonies in here. This is just a sad thing here. If I could get off my ass, I would get into this missing an indigenous community here because these people just don't get a fair shake. So coal mine area will be on lock. I wonder why they're on lockdown. or they were on lockdown. It's weird.
To remain within their home area as law enforcement conduct further investigation. Again, authorities have not released details on how Malika Boone's body was found, her cause of death, or if they believe it to be foul play. But of course, if you have any information on this case, you're being asked to call the FBI at 1-800-CALL-FBI. Caribe.
Okay, I'll keep an eye on that. That's again, that came up on my feed the other day. But that's just really weird. Okay, so let's move on to this. You guys want to see another courtroom brawl here? Hold on 1 second. We'll play this here. So I came across this here the other day too. This is I don't know why I get into these courtroom brawls here, but this is another one of these here. This is coming out of where was this? This was done a couple days ago, but this guy's a big guy here, 6'3", 300 pounds. Watch this guy. I mean, this is it took 10, I think 6 or 7 guys to take this guy down, but the one cop here just really wasn't having any of it. So here's this. Then we'll move on to something else here. Look at this. Oh.
We're in Elyria, Ohio for a sentencing. 41-year-old Andrew Davison has been found guilty of attempted murder, felonious assault, and criminal damaging or endangering. A year earlier, police say Davison attacked a man he didn't know in a vacant lot, slashing him in the face during an alleged robbery. The victim fled and made it to a hospital where he reported the incident to police. When officers went to the scene of the crime.
Yeah, we love Paula here too. Paula's amazing. I haven't seen the Mustang. I hope Mustang's okay. Let's see here. Yeah, this was a all-out brawl here.
They found Davison still there and still carrying the knife used in the attack. He admitted to the crime and was arrested. Davison, whose criminal record includes a previous conviction for illegal weapons possession, pled not guilty and decided to represent himself at trial, claiming he acted in self-defense. But once the trial concluded, a jury found Davison guilty on all charges, and Judge Christopher Rothgary announced his sentence, 10 to 15 years in prison. Now, 2 deputies approached the defendant to take him into custody. But according to court records, Davison, who's 6'3" and over 300 pounds, told the deputies, "I'm not going to jail, and you'll have to kill me." And when the deputies put their hands...
This guy gets up, and these 2 cops here didn't want anything to do with it. And then he just starts swinging, and then this guy here, this is kind of like a play-by-play. I wish I had this guy gets up and just starts wailing, and then he just... This is, let's see.
Hands on Davison. As Davison resists the deputies, Elyria Police Sergeant Michael Walker, who was seated at the prosecutor's table,
This goes to show you what adrenaline does, because these tasers don't really do much. This guy here just starts tasing him when he's on the floor, and it doesn't really seem to do much. It took this guy is like a bulldozer. He just kept getting punched, and he wasn't having any of this.
Quickly jumps in to assist. As Deputy C.J. Schmidt reaches for his taser, Sergeant Walker and the defendant exchange several blows. Then, just as Walker gets his arms around Davison to take
watch this guy here. He just starts tasing him, and it's like no effect whatsoever.
To the floor, Deputy Schmidt fires his taser. Deputy Jeff Smith then gets on top of Davison as the other deputy calls for backup. As the struggle continues, a local reporter captures the melee on his camera. Additional officers come running in to help secure the defendant, who's now suffered a cut to his head. Officers finally get
this guy right here. This one cop got pretty beaten up.
The cuffs on Davison. And the officers talk it over with the defendant.
Jibby's awesome. Jibby's amazing.
8 officers then escort Davison to jail.
Look at everybody. They're just sitting here watching this whole thing like nothing's happening.
Sergeant Walker, who suffered a dislocated finger and some bruises during the incident, was treated and has made a full recovery. Deputy Smith, who'd only been on the job for 2 weeks, suffered 4 broken ribs and a cracked sternum.
Wow.
He was taken to a hospital for treatment and is returned to duty. Davison was treated for the gash to his head and then charged with 3 counts of felonious assault and resisting arrest.
This guy got the shit kicked out of him here.
That case is pending. Davison is currently serving a 10 to 15-year sentence in the Ohio Department of Corrections for his original case.
He picked a fight with the wrong dude. That guy just get your popcorn ready. It's too funny. When I find these things, I just play them because they're just kind of. Who would do that? Who would be? Hold on a second. I got something for this guy. Hold on 1 second here. Dumbass. So he got 10 to 15 years, and he's going away for a while now. Why would you do that? It's not like you're going to get away. All right, let's get out of that there. Hold on 1 second. I got one more thing to play here. It's going to be add 5 more years. Yeah, I got it. Here's one. He's going away for a while. All right. All right, let's go. Hold on. To the missing person case of the week here. Get some semblance to this live here. I got buttons now, so beware. All right, so this is time to get serious now. We got the missing person case of the week here. Chelsea Woods, missing in Arkansas, Southern Gal State. So she's probably done this before, this person here. Calls 911 in a panic before disappearing. This week on Missing with Marnie Hughes looks at the case of Chelsea Woods, a 30-year-old mother who has been missing since August 2022. So this goes back away a couple of years. The night before she disappeared, Woods called 911 in a panic because her boyfriend and his friends were reportedly standing outside her home. Okay, here we go. Have you done this case, Southern Gal? Yes. Okay.
Their background or their circumstances. And by highlighting the cases and sharing these stories, we believe every case is solvable. And together we can bring answers to the family and friends of the missing. This week's featured case is out of Arkansas. Chelsea Woods has been missing since August of 2022. Her family is hoping a new reward in the case will bring the answers they've been searching for.
Last day I talked to her. If something happens to me, Mom, I just want you to know I love you. So.
Okay, hold on 1 second here. Go to the. I'm repeating your sound effects. You've always. I've always had buttons, by the way. I know. I've just found them today. So. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate that. Hold on 1 second here. I want to go. Let's go to the Charlie Project here to get some background on this here. I think this is the first time I've covered this. Okay, she's been missing since August 2022, so that's 3 years ago. Clinton, Arkansas, endangered missing. So, female, white, 38 years old, 5'9", 180 pounds. Medical suffers from bipolar disorder. White female, brown hair, brown eyes. Hi, beautiful. Woods may use the last name Fitzgerald. Have I covered this before? Woods was last seen in Clinton, Arkansas. I'll pull up a map in a second. August 28th, 2022 at 7:03 a.m. She called 911 saying she was afraid of who was in her home. The call was in reference to a domestic incident that had already occurred. Witnesses stated after making the call, Woods was taking all sorts. Hold on 1 second. Woods was talking all kinds of crazy. Let me read this again here because it's not registering here. Witnesses stated after making the call, Woods was talking all sorts of crazy. Who are these witnesses? And ran out the door into the woods. Who would just run out the door into the woods? When police arrived, they found Woods down the street. She wanted to speak only to a specific officer, and this person was unavailable. The police tried for nearly an hour to convince her to return home. But she ran. Why would they try to force? The police tried for nearly an hour to convince her to return home. Why would they try to convince her to return home? She has never been heard from again. Okay, but she ran further into the woods and disappeared. So this stuff happened because there was officers there. Three days later, Woods' aunt asked the police to do a welfare check on her as her aunt had been unable to contact her. When police arrived at Woods' home, the front door was open. There was no sign of her, but her cat was inside. Her driver's license, purse, and some other personal belongings were found at a nearby property. 2 days before her disappearance, Woods told her mother over the phone, "I just want to let you know if anything happens to me, I love you." Okay. All right, so let's go to this here. Hold on. That's strange.
Prior to that message, a restraining order against a boyfriend. There was a call to police and a frantic search in the woods. Coming up, what we know about Chelsea's disappearance and what law enforcement is saying. First, we have some updates on several other missing cases. Sadly, remains have been found in the search for Linda Brown. She's a teacher in Chicago. Police say they recovered her body from Lake Michigan.
Yeah, we'll go over this here down the road too, because I did post this. They found her remains, unfortunately, so that's just sad. I don't know what happened, but I don't think they're thinking foul plea here. We covered this one last week too.
And the medical examiner has also now confirmed what many had feared. Linda was last seen on January 3rd, reported missing after she didn't show up to an appointment. Linda has been described as kind and devoted to kids, impacting those around her in a positive way. My thoughts are with all of those who knew.
Yeah, this sucks. I blamed him for it, but apparently he didn't do anything. This just sucks.
And loved her. Former NFL player Sam Beal remains missing. It's been 7.
I gotta look into this case too. This is a weird case here. I think I remember this guy here for the Giants. So I may be doing something on this guy here next week. We'll see.
7 months since he was last seen in July of 2025. According to a missing persons report, Beal disappeared after dropping off his girlfriend and then driving her car to Virginia Beach. The car was found with his shoes and socks on the floor, along with some sand, but no.
Southern Gal does an amazing job too. She's got a great channel. She does the Monday night missing cases. She usually does one on Wednesday too, I think Wednesday and Friday. But she does a lot of cases that nobody else talks about. She's just an amazing person. So feel free to check out Southern Gal. I will probably try to do something on this guy next week here.
Sam. The Kentwood Police Department in Michigan is working this case. Beal played 9 seasons for the New York Giants, but was cut from the team in 2021. According to the New York Post, prior to his release, he also pled guilty to 2 gun-related charges in Ohio linked to a 2020 traffic stop. He is from Grand Rapids. Now to this week's featured case. Police in Van Buren County, Arkansas, offering a $10,000 reward for information in the disappearance of Chelsea Woods. She was 38 years old when she vanished in August of 2022 after calling 911 in a panic. Chelsea hasn't been seen since, leaving her family confused and desperate to know what happened.
Last day I talked to her. Something happens to me, Mama, I just want you to know I love you. So.
That haunting message delivered just 2 days before Chelsea Woods disappeared on August 28th, 2022.
She was in distress, obviously, right? Because her and her ex-boyfriend had, there was a history of domestic going on there. And she had called 911, but she was scared that morning. She called for help.
I'm the one that encouraged her to, because she was.
Okay, so I got, I added, hold on a second here. I added, I need to do a whole bunch of adjusting to this crawler on the bottom here, but I added this Chelsea Woods case here down on the bottom here. If you have any information on this, or if anybody has any information on this here, it'll be at the end of this scroller here down at the bottom.
Was telling me, Mama, Kobe's hurting me. He just threw some.
These, I'm telling you, every time I see these things, these parents, it's like families and stuff like this here, this poor mother, you just want to do something for these people. This is awful. Let me, of course, Southern Gal probably knows where this place is here, but I'm going to give everybody kind of like a idea of where the hell we are here. Hold on one second here. So this is Clinton, Arkansas. It's always good to see you, Nicole. I always appreciate your support. I hope you're well. Restraining order, protective orders are only pieces of paper. They suck. They're just useless. They're the most useless thing in the world. Okay, so here's Clinton here. I've never been to Arkansas, so I have no idea where this is here. There's lakes here and stuff. Let's take a ride. I don't even know where the hell we are. So this is Clinton here. This must be some sort of a lake here or pond. Once, if I can get an address, I'll go there, but this is kind of where we are here. Let's go back here. Back out of this here. There's a lot of waterways around here too. All right, so back to this here. If you go to sleep or fall asleep, Nicole, it's always good to see you. Hope you're well. If you fall asleep, I hope you have a great week. It's always good to see you here, for sure.
Something at me, and it just went past my head. And I said, Chelsea, please. And you don't know how many times I begged her to call the police.
Family says about a month earlier, Chelsea filed a restraining order against her boyfriend, Colby Snow. A friend told Renee that he found Chelsea with her bags packed and her cat at a Taco Bell at 2 a.m. on August 28th, waiting for money from her dad for a bus ticket or hotel room.
Waiting on the money for him to get the bus ticket, and it never happened. And that's how that Bobby Walker took her back home. She was scared. He stayed with her that night and all that next.
Okay, so this is Chelsea's aunt talking here.
Next morning is when everything went down.
At around 7 that morning, Chelsea called police.
It stated she had called because.
Why would somebody call in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning? Hold on one second here.
That morning, Chelsea called police.
It stated she had called because she said her boyfriend and his posse was there. The cops came and she was asking for a certain cop that was very nice to her, right? That she knew. And
Why would they be there in the morning? Were they going to work or something like that? Or Nicole cut her finger off, by the way. Ask her about it. Got to go by. What the Nicole cut her finger off? That sucks if that happened. Why would somebody call in the morning like that? It's weird. Were they there all night? Or were they there? Was she fearing for her life at that time? Why would she only want to talk to one officer? Maybe because she didn't trust the other ones?
they said he's not here. And that's when she had a knife. She was not being violent with it. It was for herself, for her protection, because she was so scared. And supposedly that's when she ran out. And then she's never been seen since.
Police say Chelsea ran out of the cabin she was living in and into the woods with a foot-long kitchen knife. Police reported that they tracked Chelsea into the woods and tried for 30 minutes to...
Hold on a second. She ran out of the house with a foot-long kitchen knife?
Police say Chelsea ran out of the cabin she was living in and into the woods with a foot-long kitchen knife. Police reported that they tracked Chelsea into the woods and tried for...
Do you think that maybe cops are supposed to be available 24/7? One of her friends stayed with her because she was scared of her boyfriend. Do you think that maybe it was some sort of a possible SA that was going to happen? Maybe that's why she took off with a knife.
30 minutes to get her to talk with them. Then they told her friend to leave. Long kitchen knife. Police reported that they tracked Chelsea into the woods and tried for 30 minutes to get her to talk with them. Then they told her friend to leave, and they left as well. Not hearing from Chelsea.
Whose friend? Because that's not what this says. This says, arrived, they found her in the woods down the street. She wanted to only speak. The police tried for nearly an hour to convince her to return home. Why would they try to convince her to return home? You would think that they might have put her in protective custody. But she ran further into the woods. Like, why would they try to convince her to return home? That makes no sense whatsoever. Afraid of her before because of domestic TV. I don't understand why they tried to get her to go back home. It doesn't make sense.
Chelsea, her family called for a wellness check on August 31st. Deputies arrived.
Okay, so I'm trying to get a bearing. August 31st, so 3 days later. 2 days later. August 28th, 29th, 30th, 31.
Arrived at Wood's cabin to find an open door and her cat inside, but no sign of Chelsea. Police and volunteers called for a wellness check on August 31st. Deputies arrived at Wood's cabin to find an open door and her cat inside, but no sign of Chelsea. Police and volunteers searched the woods behind Chelsea's home.
We've had, with the people at the church that's donated their time, rescue workers, people that have signed in, volunteers, deputies, we're anywhere between 125 to 150 people.
Her family says Chelsea's phone, charger, and her purse were discovered back in a ravine in a tree. Another phone was found in the wall of Chelsea's cabin behind the insulation.
It's Boston Christian. Good to see you, Boston Christian. Why would they try to get her to go back home? And obviously, good to see Boston Christian here. Always good to see Boston Christian here in the chat. So that was 3 days later. Hold on one second here. So August weather. Hold on a second. I can do this while I'm doing this. August.
But questions remain.
In the police report, it says Chelsea ran out of the house with a long kitchen knife and a t-shirt. But if she ran out of the house with just that on, how did her purse get all the way down in a tree?
You've got to add Colby in the mix of that also, the ex-boyfriend. She was running. That's why she called the law to begin with.
Right.
That morning. And they said, oh, he was cleared. He was down in Monticello. Only the reason he was in Monticello is his phone showed he was in Monticello.
And for 3 years now, there's been grief.
Okay, so just a brief average temperatures during mid to late August in Clinton, Arkansas. It gets hot there. It gets hot where you are. Your daily highs typically range from 89 to 91. August is generally one of the clear months of the year with a high probability of sunny, warm, and humid conditions. Let's see here. Hold on a second. Weather Channel. Okay, so I can probably figure this out. Very hot. He looks dangerous. Yeah. Thank you, buddy. Having a hidden phone reveals she was trying to get out of it. Yeah, I mean, well, they did say that she was suffering from some sort of bipolar. Go on here.
Every day.
Hold on a second here.
And they said, oh, he was cleared. He was down in Monticello. Only the reason he was in Monticello is his phone showed he was in Monticello.
And for 3 years now, there's been grief.
Every day, every waking moment, your mind goes to where is she? This person, this human is missing. We don't know.
Do you think it's possible that she just took off because she didn't want to have to deal with this domestic violence situation? Shibby's awesome. Shibby is amazing. But I want to go back to this phone thing in the wall. Hold on. Who is this guy here?
So the ex-boyfriend.
Okay, so David Colby Snow, domestic battery, 3rd degree, criminal mischief, 2nd degree. So he's a bad guy.
She was running. That's why she called the law to begin with.
Right.
That morning. And they said, oh, he was cleared. He was down in Monticello. Only the reason
I guess I can replay it myself.
he was in Monticello is his phone showed he was in Monticello.
And for 3 years now, there's been grief.
Every day, every waking moment, your mind.
This is so awful. It's this poor woman. Let me tell you something. This whole, like, I don't know how many times I got to say this, but it's just this whole domestic violence thing here. The entirety of the system needs to be completely overhauled. This is, and you know, obviously it's for both sexes, obviously, but it's just not victim friendly at all. Put it that way. It's just, you know. I'm not saying that that's what happened here, but it's looking that way. I mean, without getting too involved in this case, it's probably 60% maybe. But I think it's also possible she just took the hell off. I mean, she just said, I'm done with this here. I'm going to move on with my life and get away from these people. Because it's obvious that she was afraid of something. Who runs out of the house with a butcher knife?
Goes to where is she? This person, this human is missing. We don't know what happened. So I guess if
I think somebody did something to my daughter. I know she was scared. Not many people care.
Oh my God, this is so horrible. Ugh. Poor woman.
So
You just want to take their freaking pain away. This is awful.
it was just, I guess, a miracle that she.
Okay, so this is a missing date. She's been missing for a while. 8/28/2022. We did this before. Last seen in the Clinton, Arkansas area. So I don't know what this means here. So they don't know a location that she was seen at last. They just saying last seen in the Clinton, Arkansas area. So I don't know when.
Contacted us and wanted to tell Chelsea's story.
Chelsea's family tells us that Colby Snow has.
Yeah, don't you think that's strange? Why would somebody only call? She only obviously maybe she only trusted that one cop, but that would make you think that she didn't trust anybody else, any of the other cops. So maybe there was something going on with the other cops. And why did they try to get her to go back home? She obviously didn't want to. I mean, she just if she ran out of the house with a butcher knife, obviously she doesn't want to go back there. This is something you'd see in like a like a horror movie, right? Go back into the house. The fuck you! I'm going back in the house. I just came from there.
Has been cleared by police and he has not been arrested or charged in the case. Joining.
Hey, hold on a second. I was talking again. Sorry.
I guess a miracle that she contacted us and wanted to tell Chelsea's story.
Chelsea's family tells us that Colby Snow has been cleared by police and he has not been arrested or charged in.
So he's been cleared. So he must have. You're taking off, buddy. Make sure you go over to Shibby's place. Shibby's got he's great. He's awesome. Shibby's great. Even though he lives in Canada, he's awesome. I was just going to say something. What the hell was I just going to say?
In the case. Joining us now on the phone, Chelsea's aunt, Renee Hastings. Renee, thank you so much. Well, we certainly care about Chelsea and what happened, and we'll do our best to get the.
That's why I like the show. I mean, I don't like a lot of these things because it's, sometimes they, obviously they do it for clicks and views just like everybody else. But, sometimes these people here sometimes do the cases that nobody else talks about. So all these cases are important. But like I've never heard of Chelsea Woods, and I don't know. So here we go.
Word out. I'd love for you to just start by talking about her as a person, moments that you remember and cherish.
Oh, Chelsea was such a good.
There's Mustang right there. Good to see you, Mustang. All right, buddy. You're awesome. Shibby is great. I have no problem with Canada. But good to see Mustang in here. Hope you're well. I'm 65% Canadian French, so obviously I don't have a problem with Canada. That's where I come from. I'll tell you one thing. I'd love to go back to Montreal, though. I love Montreal. It's one of my favorite cities in the whole world.
Good person. Well, I want to say is a good person,
I wonder if she was afraid of somebody that was with her boyfriend, though. Like somebody, it just doesn't make any sense why. But she did have bipolar disorder, so maybe it just doesn't. This whole thing is crooked here to me. Why would she ask for one specific cop? And why they kind of forced her to go back to the house without, putting her out of harm's way. I don't know what the protocol with stuff like that is because I'm not a cop, but that just doesn't make any sense. She called in a panic and then disappeared. That's why you call 911 was for help, right?
Fun-loving, caring. She loved her kids. She loved her animals. She loved her cats. You know, I miss her every day. I miss her so much. She breaks my heart.
Tell me a little bit about the searches that have happened.
Do you think was she pregnant? Is there anywhere where she was pregnant? Does anybody 39? Do you think she would have been pregnant? I don't really know why I'm asking that, but so Woods medical conditions. Woods suffers from bipolar disorder. Woods may use the last name Fitzgerald. I wonder why they're distinguishing characteristics: white, female, brown hair, brown eyes. Woods may use the last name Fitzgerald. So I wonder, is that her father's name, last name? She wears eyeglasses. She doesn't have contacts. Let's see here. There was no sign of her, but a cat was inside. Her driver's license, purse, and some other personal belongings were found at a nearby property. What does that mean?
And some of her belongings have been found. I know that probably elevates hope that more clues will come.
I'm 65% cool. 100% cool. Thank you, Nicole. I know one thing. I'm 100% old.
Well, the first search was done 6 months after the fact.
You guys are so awesome. For you guys to be here listening to my shit at 2:30 in the morning, you guys are all amazing.
There's this girl. She doesn't want to be out there like that. So I'm going to say my friend, okay? She's helped me tremendously. She's like this investigator. And she's helped me throughout this whole thing in the first 2 years. And she got this search together pretty much herself. And then, so she called Van Buren County, was like, y'all have got to be a part of this now. Like get involved, because this is 6 months later and nothing had been done, And so that's when everyone come together. We had lots of people come together, lots of volunteers, and that was the very first search. Yeah. Okay. And there was a lot.
Okay. So I'm just going to kind of read this here, because I just did kind of like an AI overview here of, I just did that. There are over 400 unsolved missing person cases in Arkansas, with individuals ranging from 1 to 91 years old. And I specifically put in from 2020 to present, and it came backwards. So recently reported 1430. Kayla Dodson reported missing from Northwest Arkansas since January 2020. So that's kind of in the same age range. I always do this here because I wonder if, maybe there's something more. Tori Millsack went missing from Hot Springs on June 6, 2024. Okay, she was found alive, which is good. So there's Kayla Dodson, 35, reported missing from Northwest since January 8th. So a couple of days ago. That may be just a runaway, maybe you think? I'll have to keep an eye on that. Cold cases, disappearances. Well, I guess I can bring you guys over here with me. Pretty unindicted co-conspirators here. Good to see you, buddy. Rolled in late, working and lurking. Glad the gang's all here. It's awesome to see you. Yes. 29. That's awesome. That's great. The more the merrier. Let's go here. Hold on 1 second here. I'll go back to this shortly. Just trying to. Okay, so cold cases and unsolved disappearances from 2020 to 2023. Madeline Renee Tomlin, age unknown, missing from Hope, Arkansas. Her case is described as unsolved long-term disappearance. She's been missing since May 2025. No ages here. Jessica Lynn Layton, 36, disappeared, died unalived, died on May 19th. I don't know about that one there. Terkesa Wallace, 34, North Little Rock resident, listed as missing with active appeals for information as of January 26. Kelly Evans, age unknown. So there are some missing people around this. So, it's always a good idea to look into that too. All right, so let's go back. Let's go back here. This case here is kind of bizarre.
A lot of ground covered that day. We were there down at that Bockenberg Church from 7 to 7.
What did she just say? Bockenberg Church? Hold on. Okay. I don't even know how to spell it. Bocken. Church? No. Bottenberg Church, right there. Okay, so let's 9 minutes. Botkenberg Foursquare Church. Okay, so
that we were there down at that Bockenberg Church from 7 to 7. So that come and went. Nothing ever come of it. There was some bones found, but they said it was animal bones. So down the line, about a year later, I was told that there was another search, but Van Buren County wanted to keep it quiet. And I'm contacting them like, why is this supposed to be quiet?
okay, so let's go. Sorry, I keep pausing this, but hold on a second here. Let's go to this church. So this is where they were kind of searching here. This is open in here for sure. I wonder why they're searching here. They were searching here. Here's the church here. That's it. Okay, so here's the outside. I wonder how far they searched in here. Let's go back towards the church here. So this is a house there. There ain't too many cameras around here, that's for sure. Okay, so there's the church there. Maybe this is where they just kind of, grouped up here. So I don't know where they were searching it, but this is kind of where they were searching in here, I guess. Let's go back to, I wonder why they were there. Because that's,
and they said, oh, we just didn't want to get everybody involved. And to me, that, the more
it's about
people involved, you would feel the better.
Mm-hmm.
But
Right.
so it was a complete secret. They did it.
That's about that must be a son. That's about 9 minutes away from the center of town there. So I wonder if that must be her son. Very rural area. Thank you, Son Miguel. Doodlebug is here. Where's Doodlebug? If Doodlebug is here, good to see you, Doodlebug. Let's go back to this here.
We didn't know. The next thing I saw was on their page, and they had posted a lot of pictures of them searching and talking about it. So that's basically what went about when that second search happened.
If Doodlebug is here, it's good to see Doodle. Doodle's got a freaking fantastic channel. Awesome stuff. I don't know. I haven't seen Doodlebug around for a while. I haven't seen Charlotte around for a while either. But very attractive woman here.
And talk about, Renee, the search areas. I mean,
I think it's possible this woman was just in fear for her life and took off. I get that high on the percentage too, like maybe 20-30%.
looks like a really vast, open, dense, wooded area where the searches are taking place. How hard does that make things?
It's very wooded. It's nothing but like cliff. You know, you go out to the woods, and then.
But where would she go? Right, like where she didn't. This thing here says, no sign of a cat was inside. Why would she leave her cat? Nobody would leave the cat. You would probably if your life was being threatened. Ran out the door. Where did I see? They did this is a welfare check. Police arrived at Wood's home. The front door was open. There was no sign of her, but a cat was inside. Her driver's license, purse, and some other personal belongings were found at a nearby property. What does that mean? They're obviously keeping stuff from people because the nearby property. What does that mean?
And like you go further on out and it drops
Punch buggy right there.
off like ravines, cliffs, real bad out in that area.
Mm-hmm. Have they been able to use, I know it was 6 months later, but thermal imaging technology, sniffing dogs, has that been?
I was going to say dogs. Dogs must be expensive because since I've been covering true crime, you literally need like an act of Congress to get sniffing dogs. They just don't. I thought that was almost like standard procedure, but apparently not.
Been incorporated?
When that first search went about, we had lots of dogs come in. A lot of volunteers came in.
Miranda Lee's here. Oh, good. It's always good to see you, Miranda Lee. Thank you so much for coming in. Hope you're well. Very much red flaggy for sure. It's always good to see Miranda Lee in here. She's an awesome person. What did I just see? That she ran to some neighbor's house? Is that what she said? She ran to a neighbor's house? Their butts.
And with their dogs, different states, from Oklahoma, and they did run those dogs all day long.
Oh, they did. Okay, there you go.
And nothing ever come up, they never found anything.
Yeah. How much harder has it been for the family, Renee? And we were hearing from Chelsea's mom as well. Just as more time has passed, it's hard to believe it's been this long without any answers. What has that done to the family?
Oh, you just.
Those are railroad tracks there. I just noticed that. Railroad tracks are kind of strange because railroad tracks, you always hear about railroad tracks. Nearby property means neighbor. It could.
Devastated. We know nothing,
This poor woman is just so sad. That must be her son.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking. We see some video right now, Renee, of Chelsea. Talk about her as a mom, what that meant to her.
Oh, she loved her kids so much. And, you know, I think it's the video with her and Colton.
Mm-hmm.
He was very young there. He's 16 now.
Wow.
He's back up here in Tennessee. She'd be so proud of him. She really would. She'd be so proud of him.
That's a great question. Did they talk to the cop? Big Fish is here. Good to see Big Fish. Always good to see Big Fish in here. I want to know why she wanted to talk to that one cop. Maybe it's because she was the only person. He was the only. Or the cop was the only person that she trusted. I don't know. It's strange. Doesn't say anything about a cell phone though. It just says maybe she didn't have a phone. Her driver's license, purse, and some other personal belongings were found in her. Maybe that's what those other personal belongings were. They probably wouldn't say if they have her phone or not. I'm assuming she must have had a phone.
And I know he misses her greatly because we see him quite a bit. You know, he comes up and he misses his mama so much.
What else in the investigation stands out to you? What have police shared, if anything, on new leads, and how can we help shoot some life into the story and the search?
Well,
that's a good point right there. Maybe it was a mental health officer. That's a good point too. It could be for sure. It's always good to see Big Fish in here. Miranda Lee, you guys are all awesome.
Can't really say they've
Because I don't see her with a cell phone at all. In any of these images, I don't see her with us. Maybe she didn't have one.
really done much. You know, Van Buren is not really been one for answers. They've just always wanted to say, you know, it's an open investigation. We don't have anything.
See, that's the hard part, you know. And I try to, you know, they don't tell the family much at all, especially if it's an open investigation. If it's a closed information, if it's a closed investigation, they may give you a few. Unfortunately, there's never seems to be any real answers. They never tell, especially the family, anything, and that's the part that sucks, because not only are you missing, you know, the loved one, but you're not getting any answers from authorities either. And they have to kind of be like that because, I mean, you know, it's an open investigation. That doesn't mean they're not working on the case. It just means that they don't want to give up everything they have just in case there's a trial down the road. So, but the fact that they're saying it's an open investigation gives me hope that they're treating this like an open investigation. It's not closed.
How about the community? Are there flyers up? Is this a case that people are talking about?
Yes. Well, you know, I try to keep it out there as much as I can.
Thank you, Miranda. Chelsea Woods missing. We've done this before. And like I said, I got her information scrolling across the bottom here too. I'm going to try to clear up some of this stuff here, make it a little bit more legible here. But hold on a second. We got this. I freaking love that thing. Okay, hold on.
On different outlets on social media. There are flyers also that I put out when I was down in Arkansas. And
missing from 488 Eagle View, Clinton, Arkansas. All right, hold on a second. We got an address. All right. Hold on a second. Let's put it in here. I can't believe I haven't seen this before. 488 Eagle View. Clinton, Arkansas, right there. Okay. Right here. It's 4 minutes away from. All right, hold on a second here. Let me, this doesn't. -13 tonight and dropping. Yeah, it's going to cool out. Members of my family have had major issues with that lot. If you're unkind and lackadaisical with a freaking, yeah. So you know that. Are you there too? $10,000 reward. Yep. Where the hell am I? This is not it. This is Sonia Point. .488 Eagle View, Clinton, Arkansas. So yeah, this has got to be it here. I'm in the woods. So this is Eagle View. Right here. 488. I'm going the wrong way. Hold on a second. Don't have to worry about stop signs here, Shibby. Or okay, so now I'm going the wrong way. 488. Let's go this way here. I'm not going to dox these people. I'm just going to go out here and see. Yeah, so this is literally in the middle of nowhere. So she was probably out here with in the woods here. I can't go any further than this, I don't think. Okay, so yeah, I mean, so this is where she was last seen, right around in here somewhere. I can go this way. But they won't let me go any further than this. Yeah, okay. So it's in here somewhere. So they were looking in here. That's where she was last seen. All right, so let's go back to sorry about that. Let me go back here. So missing from 488 Eagle View, Clinton, Arkansas. Since she was volunteer grid. I wish I had this. I could probably find that poster somewhere.
I send them to people too that I've became friends with because of this case and that knew Chelsea, and I'll send flyers down and they'll put them out down in Arkansas also. So
that's the first time I've seen, and this is coming from them. So missing, so they know that she's been missing from 488 Eagle View, Clinton, August 28, 2022. Because nobody saw her after. It doesn't seem like anybody saw her after that. And they got the call on the 31st to do a welfare check.
yeah, they're out there. The flyers are out there.
Yeah, and now a $10,000 reward. Sometimes that may be all it takes. What's your message to anyone, Renee, who knows anything or who may have information they don't think would be helpful to encourage them to share?
Just please, if you know.
Yeah, we have that too here, but it's strange because you have a date, right? You have a date on the 28th, August 28th, 2022, right? And then there's a 28, 29, 30, 31. So 3 days you get the missing, you get the welfare check.
anything, please come forward, please.
So I'm assuming technically the last time she was seen was that day, the 28th. So I'm putting my thick maxi sweater than my blanket. Yeah, it's cold out. It's going to get even colder too, which is good because when it gets cold, it doesn't snow.
Renee Hastings, the aunt of Chelsea
Yes.
Woods. Renee, thank you so much. Please give my best to Chelsea's mom and the rest of the family, certainly her kids, and everything that they're going through right now as we search for her, and let us know other ways that we can help get the word out as well. Thank you for spending some time with us.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, if you have information on the whereabouts of Chelsea Woods, again, her photo.
Okay, so I got this floating around somewhere down in the bottom of the scrolling right there, 501-745-2112. Thank you, Big Fish. All right, so that's her there. But the important thing to note here is that she sometimes goes with the name, hold on a second here, Fitzgerald. So she could be going by a different last name, Fitzgerald. So it could be Chelsea Brooke Fitzgerald instead of Chelsea Brooke Woods. And one last thing here I'll do. Hold on, let's get out of this here. And we'll go to. Oh, thank you for putting unindicted co-conspirators in here. At what entrance did she enter? I don't know. And I don't know where they found her articles of clothing either. Okay, so this is coming from the Charlie Project. So this is some of the imagery here, right here. And this was done 2022. So I'll keep an eye on that. Sounds a little fishy. It sounds, you're awesome, Big Fish. Thank you so much for doing that. Keep an eye on that. All right, so let's move along here. Just a sad, it's a horrible thing. Let me see what we're going to do next. I do want to go to, hold on one second here. Let's go to New York here. Hold on one second here. Because we did the courtroom fight, right? All right, so let's go to New York here. These are my buddies here. All right, hold on a second here. Let's go to a little bit of news in the List case here. Hold on a second here. All right, so we'll start this from the beginning here. It's an awesome channel. These guys here are all over this Gilgo Beach case. Joe Giacalone and Josh Zeman. So, accused Long Island SK of Rex Human will stand trial next September, I think, unless it gets pushed off again. Shortly after Labor Day, he'll go to trial. Human was arrested in 2023 in July in the Gilgo Beach unalivings, which occurred from the early 1990s till around 2010. And he's pleaded not guilty to all 7 unalivings he's accused of. So he's accused of 7. But there's a new motion, and they're trying to throw out some of this evidence here. So here we go with this.
Line comes as Heuermann's attorneys request to suppress certain evidence and dismiss one of the charges. Heuermann's lawyers filed a 175-page motion in advance of the court hearing this week that questioned key aspects of the prosecution's case, like how investigators seized Heuermann's discarded pizza crust from a Midtown Manhattan trash can before his arrest. And here with us now to discuss, 2 experts
Telling you right now in this case here, I know that they got a lot of stuff on this guy, but this is not a slam dunk case at all. They're going to have a hard time in this case, but the good news is they got him to do all, there's going to be some questions in this case too, because they did such a horrible job in the beginning of this case. But
a documentary director of The Killing Season and host of the Sinister podcast, Josh Zeman, who was in court with me, and retired NYPD sergeant and host of True Crime with the Sarge, Joe Giacalone. Welcome to you both. Thank you very much for being here today, guys.
Hi, Laura.
All right, so let's
Thanks
start
for
with
having me.
let's start with the big headline that we could see Heuermann going to trial right after Labor Day, quote, come hell or high water, right? This case has been making its way through the court system for the past 2.5 years, with another big motion being filed by Rex's attorney. So from your perspective, Joe, I'll start with you. Do you think the defense team is dragging this out? Because that's what a lot of people are alleging right now.
Well, and the fact that there's just so much in this case, I mean, it could appear that way. I don't know for sure if that's going to be the tactic, but if that is the tactic and the judge finds out about it, that's not going to be good for him. He's trying his best, but he really has Michael Brown really has a huge mountain to climb in this case.
Josh, I wanted to ask you about the DNA. You know, you and I were at the press conferences together this week after the hearing. The defense says taking DNA from the pizza crust Heuermann threw away, which was used to allegedly tie him to the victims, violated his constitutional right to privacy. And it is the first time such evidence will be admitted in a New York State trial from what we have seen. Heuermann's defense team blasting the process as magic. We've been hearing that storyline all throughout. Have you seen cases in the past where this kind of evidence worked? What do you make of their argument at this point?
I mean, it's a far-reaching argument for sure that somehow discarding, you're still retaining your private information. It's been noted many times that once you throw something in the trash, you're basically giving away your rights.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you too, Joe. I know that you teach criminal law. What do you make of that argument?
Yeah,
I definitely think he's guilty. I definitely think, it's just my opinion. Obviously, I wasn't there, but it's not going to be a slam dunk case. He's got a good lawyer, and they have already pinned one of the unalivings for Peaches on her husband or her boyfriend at the time. You have a lot of bodies out there. You have the Asian male doe that nobody seems to know anything about who unalived the Asian male. It's just I'm not saying that he's not going to get found guilty. I'm just saying I don't think it's a completely slam dunk here. And this whole legal battle going on with the DNA here. I'm going to play this over again. Hold on, because I wasn't paying attention. So I don't think it's not. The jury's probably going to. I don't know how the jury's going to react to that.
Judge finds out about it, that's not going to be good for him. He's trying his best, but he really has Michael Brown really has a huge mountain to climb in this case.
Josh, I wanted to ask you about the DNA. You and I were at the press conferences together this week after the hearing. The defense says taking DNA from the pizza crust Heuermann threw away, which was used to allegedly tie him to the victims, violated his constitutional right to privacy. And it is the first time such evidence will be admitted in a New York State trial from what we have seen. Heuermann's defense team blasting the process as magic. We've been hearing that storyline all throughout. Have you seen cases?
I mean, plus, I can't reiterate. I mean, they had such a corruption going on in that precinct with the whole entire police precinct. I mean, you had guys that were just terrible people. I mean, it's just Suffolk County. So I don't know. I'm pretty sure they have enough evidence. I'm not saying they don't have enough evidence, but that's all you need is one juror, man.
Cases in the past where this kind of evidence worked. What do you make of their argument at this point?
I mean, it's a far-reaching argument for sure that somehow discarding, you're still retaining your private information. It's been noted many times that once you throw something in the trash, you're basically giving away your rights.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you too, Joe. I know that you teach criminal law. What do you make of that argument?
Yeah, I mean, the point is moot because
this guy right here, Giacalone, he's awesome. Just an awesome guy. Both of these guys, I listen to these guys a lot.
In California versus Greenwood, they said the Supreme Court has said clearly that anytime you abandon property, it is no longer yours. You have no right to privacy to it. And we've seen a number of serial killer cases solved by this technique, including Samuel Little out in California. There has been a number of these things that have happened. And quite frankly, when I was in cold case.
Okay, so DNA evidence in Gilgo murder linked suspect to victim. Hairs found on the belts, tape, and burlap. The belt is weird. Put it that way. DNA from discarded pizza box linked him to the victims. Right, so they got hairs all over the place, going back to him somehow. The belt is strange. And then they took the DNA from the discarded pizza box, linking him to the. So that's plus they have all of the notes that he took down, right? The manifests and stuff. It's just it seems like it's a pretty good case that they have, but I don't know.
We actually had programs that we would try to get DNA samples like this, which we would call covertly, because there's only a couple of ways that you can get a DNA sample: through a court order, through consent, or through, doing it covertly. So the Supreme Court has allowed it. I don't think this is an argument that's going to stand much of a thing for the judge here. I think this gets dismissed pretty quickly.
Okay, I also wanted to ask you both about the defense's motion to seek dismissal of the murder charge of one of the victims in the death of Sandra Castilla. Lawyers claim that the case is based on insufficient evidence, a DNA match from a single hair that prosecutors said was found on her shirt, on her clothing, when her body was found in the woods, 93. Joe and Josh, I asked the defense attorney, Michael Brown, that if he could explain that, maybe, Heuermann knew Castilla in some way. He said he wouldn't answer that, but said a hair on a person's clothing doesn't make them a killer. Josh, you were standing right next to me when that happened. What'd you make of it?
Well, it's the other thing I think to consider here is that it was.
See, the thing is, like, if they had one hair, you know what I mean? If they had just one, then you could probably say, I mean, you're in a big, busy city. He's traveling back and forth from Long Island to Manhattan at work. The transfer thing can happen at any time, especially if you're using the same laundromats and stuff like that. But when you have, a numerous supply of hairs, then I think it's a little bit, and they're going to go after the DNA in this. You just know they are. That's a given.
It wasn't just Rex Heuermann's hair, but another hair was found on Sandra Castilla. That would be Rex Heuermann's ex-wife. So it would not.
Thank you so much, Miranda. You're amazing. Thank you so much. I haven't seen Barbara Hall in a couple of weeks. I hope she's well. She was here a couple of weeks ago in the chat. Did Mino Dino leave? Mino Dino's awesome. I hope he's doing well. I haven't seen Heather in here for a while. I hope Heather's well, but I've been told that she's been cheating on us with Scrabble. Good for her. We love Heather. Heather's amazing.
Just have to be Rex Heuermann. It would have to be Rex Heuermann and his first wife.
Right. And Joe, what did you make of that argument? I mean, and I thought it was interesting too, because hairs have been connected to so many of the victims. Why just Sandra?
Well, it would be interesting to see how Michael Brown would handle the fact that, his hair and his this woman's hair ended up from Massapequa all the way out into Southampton. All right. That's really the mystery that Michael Brown would have to prove in that case. But listen, the hairs were secured at the time going back to 1993. They still had the hairs to be able to test them. And I think he has a big problem that he's going to have to deal with this new DNA technology. And that meaning Michael Brown.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download.
See, the thing is, like, if you live in a rural area, I could see, it's really, with this 200 people in the entire community. When you live in a busy city like New York or Chicago or LA or, any major city, you take transits, you take cabs, you take buses, you take, railroads and stuff like that. So it's a little bit more understandable where transfer DNA can come from just about anything, really. I mean, even sitting in a mall, or using laundromats, or so it's a little bit easier for me to understand that maybe if it was just like one hair, but Yeah, DNA is like one of those things. And this guy has hair all over all of these victims. It's not just one. It's a lot. And plus, he's got his manifest, his poorly spelled kits that they found. It's just the word's escaping me now. He has his. Me too. I have a golden retriever. I talked to Hebby tonight. She's doing great. All right, thank you. Thanks, buddy. All right, so let's move on to something else. I want to go to this guy here because I've been following this case ever since these poor people got unalived here. I do want to do that too, though. So let's come back to this here. But let's go to this. Hold on 1 second. All right. Okay, so we've been following this case for forever. Seems like now. This is the Tepe unalivings here. Columbus police said Wednesday they recovered the weapon used in the unalivings of Spencer and Monique Tepe because they left the. That's how I knew it wasn't a professional job because they left the casings behind, tying the firearm to McKee. So let's play this here. Do I want to play this one or do I want to play this one here? Because I don't really care for Jennifer. So let's play this one.
The jury has spoken. The grand jury, that is, in the murders of Spencer and Monique Tepe in Columbus, Ohio. 2.5 weeks after the Tepes were gunned down in their own home, a panel has officially tonight indicted the suspect, Dr. Michael McKee. And along with the charges, which I'm going to get to in a second.
Okay, so this is the guy. This is the former husband of Monique Tepe, and he is being accused of unaliving the two of them there in Ohio. Was it Chicago? Matt Murphy, Mark Aragos, and Jesse Weber discussed grand jury indicting Dr. Michael McKee. I'm pretty sure this was Ohio. Unaliving her and her husband. Well, so 4 counts: aggravated murder, 1 count of aggravated burglary. Is that breaking and entering in relation to the unaliving of his ex-wife and her husband? So here we go.
This indictment let slip a pretty tantalizing little detail that we had not heard before, that the shooter used a silencer, or as the grand jurors put it, a muffler or suppressor. That's
If they got the weapon, it's over for this guy.
official. Dr. McKee, who's Mo Tepe's first husband and vascular surgeon from Illinois.
This guy's a vascular surgeon. This guy has, years and years of college. Probably a very smart guy. Why would somebody do this? He must have been just really obsessed with his ex-wife. This is he planned this too, it seems like.
Is charged tonight with 4 counts of aggravated murder and 1 single.
We love Barbara. We love Barbara Hall here. She's an amazing person, literally. I got her son's thing scrolling across the bottom here too, Timmy. Always thinking about Barbara here.
Count of burglary. And if you are counting, tomorrow it's going to be 1 full week since his arrest in Rockford, Illinois. As I come to you tonight, he is still sitting in an Illinois jail cell with his extradition still TBA. Of course, he's going to be headed to Columbus any moment now. Joining me now to discuss these key developments in the All-Star team, some of this show's favorite guests, Mark Garagos, criminal defense attorney and managing partner of Garagos & Garagos. Matt Murphy, former senior homicide prosecutor in the Orange County, California DA's office. and Jesse Weber, attorney and host of News Nation's brand new 11 o'clock show, Jesse Weber Live, which I'm so glad to say premieres on Monday, and he is going to knock it out of the park. Okay, you three, thank you so much for all of you being on this final show. Matt, I'm going to come out of the gate with you. 4 counts indicted by this grand jury, 4 aggravated counts, but 2 murders. Can you explain that?
Yeah, I know Mark had the same thought that I did on this. I bet it's just kind of weird, for lack of a better term. So what they're doing is they're proceeding on 2 different potential theories. The first 2 are what we would call P&D, or premeditation and deliberation. Then count 3 is the burglary by itself, and then counts 4 and 5 are the same murders, but with a different aggravating factor where they separately allege murders committed during the course of a residential burglary. So
this is obviously not a DP.
California, where Mark and I do most of our cases, that basically qualifies it as what's known as a special circumstance. So in the state of Ohio, they technically have a death penalty, but like California, there's a moratorium on it, but that would theoretically make him eligible for life without possibility of parole. So it's a weird way to do it, frankly. But I know Mark was also probably thinking, I can't wait to hear what Mark has to say about this. This was a super fast indictment. We went from,
this just happened last week, and they've already indicted this guy. I agree with that. It's like super fast, which is good.
This is just light speed. He hasn't even been extradited yet from Illinois, and they've already got an indictment waiting for him in the state of Ohio. So the next step, there'll be a bunch of pretrial motions. Ashley,
you guys have heard about this case, right? We did this a couple weeks ago, and then I followed up with it again on our last live, and then like I'm saying, he's already indicted. He's already
see the process go on. The next big step will be actual trial now that they've got an indictment in hand.
So Garagos, jump in here, because when I heard quadruple aggravated murder, I sort of felt like the breath went out of any defense attorney who may be lined up to do this case. Is that as scary as it sounds? Are the 2 extra ag murders that have the burglary and insurance policy in case somehow a jury decides maybe it wasn't premeditated?
Well, actually, I think Matt is spot on that when you hear it, not only is it weird, but I think also that when you present this to lay people who are obviously by definition the jurors, it's a little bit confusing. It's a little kind of intellectual, if you will. You would immediately assume that there were multiple or serial. And when it becomes that it's theories, I think that just opens up the defense to all kinds of mischief, frankly. Matt is right.
So we've seen this millions of times already, but this is the person that they captured walking behind this alley here, or in this alley here at about 2:00 in the morning.
Right,
the morning that these people were unalived, and their house, I think, is right. This is their driveway here. And there's a house, actually a garage here, or a place to park. And then there's we've seen it.
It's like dangling in front of a defense lawyer, just all kinds of things to talk about. Okay, well, you couldn't prove this.
Yeah, he looks like he's 100. I agree.
This theory, so you did this theory, or you threw this out, you couldn't you follow up on this one, and why?
These poor people, they're just living their life, and this, allegedly, this guy, her ex-husband, who they've been divorced for 5 years, right? All of a sudden, I don't believe it's all of a sudden. I think he's been probably doing stuff like this for a long time. I wouldn't be surprised if he's been in this house before. He's obviously just infatuated with her. Just, you're not going to get rid of me. I'm going to, it's just, it's horrible. The poor kids, they have a 4-year-old and a 1-year-old. Now they have no parents whatsoever.
Why are you indicting, and why are you going to a grand jury, and why this rush to judgment? I actually think things like this, when you do it this way, end up backfiring on the prosecution.
So, Jess,
Yeah, the kids are left alive. Free Peach is here. Good to see you. It's good to see Free Peach in here for sure. Those kids will be ruined for the rest of their life, though. This is just so, this is just, if it is him, it's just, why would you do that? Like, why get on with your life?
Jesse, you and I have been through a lot of trials together. Some of them are great and some of them are stinkers. And I often think that sometimes the litigators are checking their boxes and forgetting that everybody who's in the jury box is just some dude, right? We just need a story that we can wrap our heads around. And in this particular case, I'm seeing movement and timing and forensics. And I'm wondering, in your opinion, how important is it going to be for these prosecutors to put together a bedtime story for the jurors instead of a checkbox case?
So it's very important. Before I even get to that, Ashley, thank you so much for everything you've always done for my career. I love you. You're amazing. And thank you for having me on your last show. Okay, very important. Why? They need to tell a story. Obviously, motive is not an element that they have to prove. But when you're trying to explain why this guy who is accused of this.
Always good to see Free Peach here. We're just going over the indictment of this guy, Michael McKee, who's being allegedly charged with unaliving his wife and his ex-wife and her husband.
Was divorced for so many years.
So he divorced his the wife that he allegedly unalived 5 years ago, and her husband.
And then all of a sudden, what, snaps? I mean, they have to explain why he would have allegedly traveled 400 miles and killed them in the middle of the night. Remember, he's charged with aggravated murder. They elevated it to get to life in prison. That's prior calculation and design.
Yeah, you don't like this guy here, 15 years at university, then 5-year general residency, 2 years in vascular discipline. He's not a man to walk away from what he sounds. Yeah, exactly. I mean, this guy here, it's just odd. I think it's kind of odd that they're 5 years, right? But when you got, when you got the hots for somebody, I guess it doesn't end. So, 5 hours and 22 minutes.
That it was premeditated. So what are they going to have to show? They are going to have to show that travel. They are going to have to show he went into that house. They are going to have to show the circumstances of that killing. And there's still a lot we don't know, right? We don't have forensics. We don't have DNA, but they say they recovered a weapon that was tied to it. They now have the car. They have the surveillance footage.
Yeah, I think they weren't married for long. I think they were married for a year or so, 7 months maybe. So it was obviously not going well. But I think she knew him for a while. Is that the ex-husband for a while? I don't know.
They now say that is him. So being able to tell a clear, concise story about why he would have done this when he hasn't said anything right now, I think that's going to be critical for the prosecution.
So, Matt, when we listen to these dribs of information coming out, the average person tends to think slam dunk.
I'm just saying if this is true, right, which I think it is, I think he's pretty guilty because they got the I mean, he left the shell casings behind, so they're gonna probably match everything up with the pew. But what was I just gonna say? Why? It just doesn't make any sense. College sweethearts, yep.
Right away. And that is far from the story for a prosecutor. What in this particular case, given what we know, and it's not a lot, what worries a
Thank you for the 21 likes. Appreciate it.
Prosecutor most right now, this early on?
Boy, that's a great question, Ashley. I think that where my mind goes is, and I'm sure Jesse and Mark are thinking the same thing. I would love to see his Google searches and see what's in there. There isn't really a whole lot right now based on what's been released. This looks like a very strong case. The silencer was certainly new, or what we'd call a suppressed.
Yeah. Oh, what I was gonna say is, you can't tell me that this guy hadn't done or tried or thought about doing this before, right? Like, if he's going to wait 5, he must have tried to do something like this before, and I might play some of the other stuff too, because, of course, now people come out of the woodwork and say, oh, we knew it was him all along and all that stuff. But this almost seems like an obsession from this guy here, like an infatuation with her. And you just don't, I don't think you do this stuff overnight like this. You have to build up, I think. My opinion.
Yes, sir. But this has all the makings, at least on the surface, and this guy's presumed innocent, of course. This has all the makings of one of those cases where you just got an obsessive ex. And we've all either had an obsessive ex. Mark and I have done these cases together in Southern California, where you got guys that just.
I think this is a little different than just an obsession. This is like a control thing. I think like a power and a control thing. Like you may be 100 miles away from me and you may be living your life, but I still control you. I still have power over you. I can still. To me, that's what this sounds. It's an obsession, but it's more of like this guy's almost like a control freak here.
Can't hear the word no. So it's going to be really interesting
for
me as a former prosecutor to hear what else they've got, what Google searches went on, where he got the suppressors, because those are very expensive. And in a lot of states like California, there's a complete ban on them. So this is going to be, there's a lot more evidence coming our way. You and I talked about this the other night, Ashley, and I think you were the first to get it out. This was a NIBIN hit, which I think is very interesting. So they've got, that's the National Ballistics Database, where they take expended shell casings from one crime scene and match them.
I think that's where the burglary charge came from. Is streaming off of someone leeching? Yeah. Coercive control. That's it right there. This guy ruined so many lives here. It's just
known exemplar. So it sounds like they actually got the firearm here, I think, maybe, but they certainly got expended shell casings from his previous residence. And that is incredibly powerful in front of a jury to link him to these murders.
Yeah, the shell casings and the ballistics here, almost as good as DNA.
To a weapon and to a silencer, you're right. So, Mark, I mean, we're talking about a lot of the bad stuff that defense attorneys don't like to hear. We're talking about surveillance. The police say they have vehicles.
I saw some of the workers that worked with him. I do think that people come out of the woodwork sometimes just to get on, camera and stuff like that. But I think one of the family members of hers or his was kind of saying some stuff too about the ex-husband.
Timelines. The police say they have a weapon and the silencer suppressor that they allegedly have at this point. Can you see any realistic openings right now for a defense attorney? Again, knowing what we know.
Well, knowing what we know, actually, and I apologize for smiling when Matt was telling that story. I was thinking of one particular case that I'm sure he was referring to that we had against each other, if you want to talk about obsession. But putting that aside, yes, there are openings. I mean, the hit on the shell casings reminds me, I had another case, not similar, but an instrumentality found at the scene. I've actually had two in murder cases. One was a bottle with a fingerprint. Another was a mattress and a bed frame with a fingerprint. We were able to show in both cases and won dismissals in both murder cases that was just from somebody else. And a good investigator in both cases, separate guys, actually found that out. So I'm not so sure that that's as compelling as it sounds, at least when you frame it the way the prosecutors do. You don't know who brought that casing to the scene. You don't know what the circumstances were of the exemplars and everything else. There's always a lot more to it. I mean, remember, the best day in a lot of these circumstantial evidence cases for the prosecutor is the day they announce it, which is one of the reasons they always want to get a gag order on the defense after that.
I think the best day is when they have openings
Oh, this will probably be gagged for sure, no doubt.
before the.
This case will take 2 years, 2 or 3 years, because I don't think he's going to want a speedy trial here. I don't even know if he's got a lawyer yet.
Defense goes up and gives their opening. Jesse, speaking of the narrative, legally, it is very smart to exercise your right to remain silent, which this defendant did eventually when he was in cuffs. But then when it comes to the media, it makes you look so guilty. And there is a jury pool out there somewhere wanting to know anything more about this. I know what you're going to say, but I want to know why you're going to say it. He should never say another damn word. Why?
Because it could be used against him. I mean, the Timothy Busfield case this week was the complete opposite, right? Different circumstances, different charges, but he was fighting a case in the court of public opinion and the court of law. This is somebody who's a private citizen. He has not said one word. I think that's very wise. Allow his attorney to do the talking. And right now, he doesn't have to prove anything. What they are going to try to do is dismantle the prosecution's case any which way they can, any which way, the car evidence, the ballistic evidence, the surveillance footage, go that route. If he says,
I think what defense attorneys really try to do is they try to get the lowest possible punishment, especially if they know somebody's probably going to get, found guilty or whatever. They're trying to limit the damage, I think, as much as possible. Like, so if they try to, I don't think they're going to in this case, but get the TP, or even if it's, life in prison without parole, a win for probably the defense in this case is obviously a hung jury, but even a hung jury, you're going to have to go back to trial, just limiting the damage, limiting whatever you can. Because, if you can get life with parole or even the charges here, the charges seem to be a little bit over exaggerated with the planning and stuff like that. So we'll see.
anything, it could potentially be used against him. And if it's only his choice, if he ever decides to take the stand. So right now, there's really nothing he should say or could say that I think would help him.
Exactly.
Jesse Weber.
Exactly. That seems to be a defense strategy these days here that, because a lot of times, this guy might have money to get his own lawyer, which would probably be good because, you can only do so much with a public defender. If you've got the money to get a good lawyer, you get good lawyers, right? So there's that. The 4 counts of aggravated murder here, though, or aggravated unaliving, this seems a little steep. So the jury's going to have to find beyond a reasonable doubt on a aggravation of this, right? I think that's what they're trying to say here.
Mark Garagos, Matt Murphy, my final goodbye to you on News Nation. I can't thank you enough for being on this program tonight and for being so smart and helpful all the time. And Jesse, best
I don't
of luck
know.
to you.
Thank you so much.
It's real.
All right, so that's the end of that. I'll keep an eye on that. There's more. I do want to get to this here because I got a couple of other things I want to get to before I get out of here tonight. Let's hold on a second. Let's go here. I've already been here for what is his deal going in at night when they're peaceful? Yeah, no, it's he's in the middle of a malpractice suit. I didn't know that. I see. That's why I mentioned the alimony thing. I don't know if there's alimony. He might have been paying alimony still. But let's go here. Hold on one second. I'm going to go here to this one here because this came up last week and I wanted to play it last week, but I didn't have time. This is the Barry Morphew case here. Just to reiterate that he was set to appear in court. So here are the top stories. Hold on one second. Did they? All right, we'll play this one here.
Joining us, I'm Sarah.
This was done 5 days ago. So this is the case against Barry Morphew. He's been accused of unaliving his wife. Why am I drawing a blank here? Suzanne Morphew. Sorry.
Sam Shocker, we're just over an hour away from Barry Morphew being arraigned on the charges he faces for the death of his wife, Susan.
There's no alimony in Ohio, right? Are they still looking for the motive in the Brown University shooting? I'm not sure.
Suzanne in 2020. Suzanne went missing from Alamosa County Mother's Day weekend in 2020, but her body wasn't discovered until 3 years later.
This poor woman. I just feel so bad for this woman. She had, she's a very attractive person. And she just, this case here too, I think is going to be a lot more complicated than people think it is. The prosecution in this case really screwed up the beginning of this here. So this may be a guy that walks here, Barry Morphew.
Later in Saguache County. This is the second time he's faced charges in her death. The previous case against him was dropped just days before trial, but prosecutors say new evidence ties Barry to a tranquilizer found in Suzanne's system. We'll have details.
Okay, Mustang. It's always good to see you here.
On the hearing this afternoon on 9 News. Police in Westminster are looking for any.
Okay, so hold on here. Let's do this one here.
A man who once pleaded for his wife's safe return is now due in court today, charged with her murder.
Barry Morphew is expected to enter a plea. You might remember he was released from jail on bond back in September after his arrest in Arizona. This morning, our Allie Jennerjohn is with us to break down exactly what we know about Suzanne Morphew's death. And Allie, a lot of folks going to be waiting to hear what happens in that courtroom today.
Yeah, because it really is a case we've followed since Suzanne Morphew's disappearance from Chaffee County back in May of 2020. Her body was found 3 years later in the San Luis Valley, and in 2024, an autopsy ruled her death a homicide. Now, according to the autopsy report, a drug cocktail used to tranquilize wildlife was found in one of her bones. And an indictment says her husband, Barry Morphew, was the only private citizen in the area where Suzanne's investigation unfolded who had access to the mix of drugs in her system. Barry was originally charged back in May 2021 before Suzanne's body was found, but the prosecution asked for those charges to be dropped nearly a year later and days before Barry's jury trial was set to begin, telling a judge they thought they were close to discovering Suzanne's body and knowing if they did, that could change their whole case. At the time, Barry's defense said the motion to dismiss was filed because prosecutors knew they were going to lose. Now we know Suzanne's body was later found, Barry was recharged, and now we're here. A judge expects to hear a plea from Morphew around 1:30 today. We'll update you on air and online. Live in the newsroom, Allie Jennerjohn, Denver South.
Okay, so let's see here. I do want to, let's go here. Hold on one second. I want to play this. So he did go to court. He did plead not guilty. I'll play that in a second here. It was a joke with Owl. What happened? Hold on one second here. I played that one already. Play this one here. All right. So alleged wife, unaliver Barry Morphew pleads not guilty. So this was him in court. Here, this was done 5 days ago. So this is basically the extension of what we just played.
We'll call it Alamosa County Case 25 CR 128, People versus Barry Morphew. This matter is set today for arraignment. Counsel for the prosecution are present in person. Counsel for Mr. Morphew are present in person, as is Mr. Morphew, and at least 2 of the victims. We also have several folks. Several of the victims are present on the line. Ms. Kelly, are you all prepared?
We are prepared to proceed, Judge.
Okay. Mr. Bell?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And is Mr. Morphew prepared to enter a plea today?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you. Your Honor, as the court knows, there is a 1-count indictment. Mr. Morphew has previously and continuously been advised of the charge as well as any possible consequences. Your Honor, at this time, Mr. Morphew does enter a not guilty plea. The parties have at least tentatively compared calendars, touch base with your court clerk, and when the court is ready, I am prepared to move forward and propose some dates.
I presume that you do not wish any further formal arraignment?
Thank you, Your Honor. I don't need any formal arraignment or any additional advice.
And from what I understand in speaking to my court clerk, you are asking for a trial date that is outside of speedy, is that correct?
That is correct, Your Honor. The parties have consulted regarding the possibility of setting the matter inside of speedy. Unfortunately, with the amount of data, the length of the trial, the defense does not think that it's realistic to have the trial set within 180. Mr. Morphew has been advised of his rights under the Speedy Trial Act. He does waive his right to have the trial within 180 days. Your Honor, in addition to that, the people have requested a tolling of speedy. Mr. Morphew has been advised regarding what tolling is, as well as the length of period of time. The people have asked for, and we have agreed that with the court's acceptance, we will toll until the end of January of 27.
And the trial date you all are requesting is, you asked for October 12th, but that's a holiday for which our security staff will not be present, so it would be October 13th.
That is correct. If that works for the people, Your Honor, the parties are looking at October the 13th as a start date. We are requesting the court schedule this for 6 weeks, which puts the conclusion at November the 20th. Your Honor, candidly, we are probably estimating a little bit long, although we do believe that that is accurate. As the court can probably surmise, as we have a better understanding as time goes on of what that trial looks like, I do not anticipate it getting longer. There is a possibility that it may get somewhat shorter, and the parties will advise the court if and when we need that date adjusted. We are anticipating that the adjustment date would come at the end, as opposed to at the beginning of the start date. So if the court is able to accommodate the 13th of October, again through the 20th of November, we do believe that that works for the parties.
It does, Judge. When we were contemplating and tolling past that trial date, what we thought about was the holidays that are coming up at the end of the year, and so that.
He was upset that Monique left him without warning and took the dog. Possible for sure. I think it's tough. Guys are really weird sometimes when it comes to breakups. Women can be too, but 5 years, 5 years is a long time. Get over it, right? Do you need closure or something like that? Even I would probably be over something after 5 years, but you never know. Some people are really weird. My hubby got me a new pair of AirPods, and hopefully I won't get yelled at for sounding weird on streams. Huh. You won't. You guys are all awesome.
End of January tolling period gives us at least some kind of cushion at the end of that period. And so we would ask that the court accept that. The trial dates that Mr. Beller laid out are fine. We would also, Judge, propose giving the court a draft case management order. We've done a lot of discussion about how much time we need to file motions and to respond. And so what we're proposing, Judge, is to work on a draft together, present it to the court, and if the court approves of it, we can abide by that case management order. Some of the things that might be involved are the response time, expert disclosure deadlines, things of that nature, if that's okay with the court.
This is, like I said, this is not going to be a slam dunk by any stretch. This guy has a good lawyer. So we'll see. I personally think he's guilty. That's just my opinion. I've been following the Barry Morphew case for a while. It's possible somebody else did it, but I got this, I try to do a percentage type thing, like 70%. I got him pretty close to 70%. It's possible there was somebody else involved in this, but we'll see.
We also tentatively cleared with your clerk a motions week. I know the court has some,
and we're not doing that. We're hearing motions long before that.
Okay.
We are not waiting until August to hear the first.
That's fine.
Motions, yeah.
When we were in discussions, it appeared that defense would like to have until the beginning of May to file them. That's fine with us, but we could also manage them as they come in and maybe have a deadline that's earlier than that, or keep that deadline and set a motions hearing maybe in July.
I will tell you, I'm gonna give you my own motions deadlines today.
Perfect.
So if that becomes unreasonable, I'm glad to hear arguments about that, but I'm not giving 4 months to file motions in this case. So, and we're gonna hear them far sooner than August, because inevitably there will be more than one round of motions, and I'm not pushing up against that trial date. And carving out a lot of extra time, when we all know probably that first set of motions is not gonna be the last of it.
Sure. I think that makes sense, Judge. And with that, would the court prefer us to do that draft once we get dates from the court to that case management order, or would the court prefer to do it?
Well, I'm gonna issue an omnibus order, and then if you all need modifications to that, you certainly can file a motion to modify that omnibus order.
Okay.
That's fine. Okay, all right, so first things first, so I will give you that October 13th trial date that can be accommodated. Before I do that, Mr. Morphew, I do believe, Mr. Beller, that they have fully discussed your right to a speedy trial with you, but I do need to make sure you understand that right and understand what you're waiving. So if you'll grab that microphone, please, and bring that closer to you. Mr. Morphew, you have a constitutional right to a speedy trial, which in Colorado means you have a right to a trial within 6 months of entering a not guilty.
It's Charlie Manson. Hey, buddy, good to see you. I wear my Blue Parrot headset around the house so I can do other things while listening and not disturb the kids. That's because you're smart. Found my trucker headset Dan gave me. We'll move, get this here, and then we'll move on to something. I want to get onto the Houston cases here.
Guilty plea that you have done today. No one, including your attorneys, can make you waive that right if you do not want to. However, there's many reasons why it might be beneficial for you to do so. I know that there's a huge amount of information that your attorneys have been going through and will have to continue to go through to effectively represent you. And that they've advised you that having a trial within 6 months would not allow them to effectively get through all of that information in a way that is beneficial to you. What they're asking is that I set that trial outside of 6 months. And to do that, I have to ask you a few questions. Okay. First, do you understand that you have a right to a trial within 6 months?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you have any questions about that right that your attorneys have not been able to answer for you?
No.
Your counsel is asking you to set trial out.
Yeah, I've been going crazy here with the playoffs.
That 6 months, specifically in about 10.
And we got the national championship game Monday night too, so it'll be a pretty good weekend. It was a pretty good today, but it's all about football really right now. Look at this court. This is huge.
10 months. Are you okay with that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is anyone forcing you, tricking you, threatening you, or promising you something to get you to make that agreement against your will?
No, Your Honor.
Are you?
This is what they're going to try to do. They do this all the time. They're going to try to get him talking to some sort of an informant, proving his guilt here. All right, let's get out of this. I got other things to move on to. I just wanted to play this because I wanted to play this last week. I didn't have time. So he's pleading not guilty, obviously. I don't think that's a shocker. But let's get into this here. Hold on a second here. Let's see here. Let's see here. So I've been following this forever. Seems now there's the Lady Bird Lake unalivings here, but now there's a new thing down here in Houston. It's not new, but it's been going on for a while. But I've been following this to Of course, they're not saying anything's going on, but another body was recovered from a Houston waterway. This is the first of this year here, 2026, reigniting fears over the growing number of people found unalived in the city's bayous. Authorities say at least authorities say the latest victim was pulled from Buffalo Bayou, adding to troubling pattern. More than 30 bodies have been recovered from Houston waterways last year. So 30 in a year. While police and prosecutors insist there's no evidence of an SKer, the public is going crazy because they think there is. So here's this here. We won't play all of this, but I think this is kind of strange.
Miles and warnings from
I mean, I do know that, anytime you're around water, especially down here in bayous and stuff like that, people unalive all the time, but 30 in a year, that seems a little high, but Houston's a big city.
authorities. We're going to talk about what we know of this new death and more. And this time, we're bringing on a criminologist. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. If you think the crime stories that I cover on Sidebar every day are scary, wait until you hear what's happening with your personal data online. Yeah, all these bodies that are being found in the bayous, which
one thing I do like about this show here is they play the commercial at the beginning so you can just skip over it.
Has ignited a conversation about a potential serial killer in the area. And what just happened? The first body of 2026 has been pulled out of a Houston river. I hope it's the only one. But after over 30 bodies were found in the bayous last year, and you hear rumors of a bayou killer that authorities have been trying every which way to deny, we have this new body this year. What do we make of this? Now, according to The Independent, a man's body was located in the Buffalo Bayou at around 2 p.m. on Tuesday, January 6th. By the way,
okay, so I'm just going to kind of read this. Total of 35 bodies were recovered from Houston area bayous, matching the record high set in 2024. So this is more than they had in 2024. The incidents, primarily occurring in Buffalo Bayou, sparked widespread but unsubstantiated rumors of an SKer on social media and other platforms. So total body count 35. A significant number of victims were black males, prompting community concern. Cause of death: investigations indicate a range of causes, including accidental. I don't know how I pronounce that. Accidental unalivings, drug overdoses, and suicides. Self-harm. Sorry. A large percentage are listed as undetermined. So there's a large percentage that have been listed as undetermined. Many bodies were found in Buffalo Bayou, especially specifically in the downtown and Second Ward areas. In Harris County District Attorney saying there's no SKer. And officials attribute the high numbers to a combination of Houston's vast, dangerous bayou system, approximately 2,500 plus miles, the city's homelessness crisis, and mental health struggles. Okay, so there's a little bit of that. So here we go.
Buffalo Bayou, bodies have been found there. Last year, September 18th, a body was discovered in Buffalo Bayou. It was 63-year-old Arnulfo Alvarado. His cause of death was determined to be from methamphetamine toxicity and drowning. The manner of death was ruled accidental. But then you go to September 20th, and the body of 67-year-old Michael Rice was pulled from Buffalo Bayou. September 26th, Michaela Miller was found in Buffalo Bayou. And by the way, bodies were found in other bayous as well, like Greens and Brays, but just kind of give you a little context here. But going back to 2026, what do we know about this latest body, this latest death? And to be clear, this is reportedly the fourth body recovered from a Houston waterway within 15 days. Now, you have Lieutenant Larry Croson with the Houston Police Department, who revealed that a maintenance crew in the area was the one that found the body of this adult male, fully clothed, possibly wearing a gray jacket. KHOU 11 reporting authorities say there's no obvious signs of foul play, that the body didn't appear.
Okay, so here we go. I'm going to just give people a map here. I'd love to go down here. I've always wanted to visit the bayou system here. But this is some images here. I mean, Houston's a huge city. The waterways are, I mean, there's a huge bridge here. And unfortunately, people just, there's the waterways here. I can kind of, I mean, this is, anything can happen here. Pretty sure there's a lot of bars around here. I just like to cover these things because you never know, right? Like, Born on the Bayou, very good song. There was a band that did that. I don't know if you guys have ever heard the Street Players. They're street musicians from all across the world. They do. I don't think that's actually the name of the site that you can go to find out, but it's on YouTube. I forget the actual name. It's I think it is actually Street Performers. They do an amazing job. Charlotte's here. Is that Charlotte? Hold on a second. Yeah, that's Charlotte. Hey, Charlotte, good to see you. Hope you're well.
To be in the water for that long of a time. Lieutenant Croson adding, as always with these cases, we have our homicide investigators here and they'll be conducting a follow-up investigation. The medical examiner will come here and they'll do an autopsy to determine the man's cause of death. To be clear, the identity and cause and manner of death have not been revealed at the time of this broadcast. But I mentioned that authorities are trying to shut down this idea.
We hope Charlotte's well. We haven't seen Charlotte in a while. She's probably busy. She's got other things to do besides to be here. But it's always good to see Charlotte in here. Hope you're well, Charlotte. Miss Charlotte.
Of a serial killer, right? So, for example, and we talked about this in our previous sidebar, you have Harris County District Attorney Sean Tier, who did an interview with NBC affiliate KPRC, said there is nothing, and I want to be crystal clear, to indicate that there is someone operating here as a serial killer. Last year, okay, after 5 bodies were recovered in just 5 days and a 6th just days later, you had this terrifying rapid cluster. You have different victims, different waterways. Obviously, it is leading to questions, a lot of online speculation that something was going on. So you had Houston Mayor John Whitmire, you had Houston Police Chief Noah Diaz. They held a press conference to try to downplay people's fears.
Let me say it again. There is no evidence that there's a serial killer loose on the streets of Houston. If there was, you would hear it from me first.
And Police Chief Diaz said, for us as an agency, rumors stir fear and anxiety in our communities. But maybe all of that hasn't worked, because according to ABC 13, late last month, after 3 bodies were found in bayous in a week's time, people seem to be skeptical. A man named Juan Sandoval, who was visiting Houston.
Where's V? V's in here? Good to see V. I must not be seeing everybody in here. Absolute pleasure. Hope you're all well. Yeah, we hope you're well too. Hope you're well in England. Angleland. We love Charlotte. Charlotte's awesome.
And told the outlet, the math isn't mathing. I think there's a serial killer. I get in a...
When you hear this right here, the math, I'm going to create a channel where you have these, 6, 7, and then you get these sound effects like gong. Or math isn't mathing. Sorry. All right, let's get back to this here.
Nevada's For You page now, and even in Nevada, they're talking about Buffalo Bayou. So it's that bad. It's reaching another state, across state lines. Houston resident Eric Cortez said, there must be someone out there, no? Because it's ridiculous that so many people are dying in the bayou. I think it's unfortunate that they haven't found the person. According to KHOU 11, resident Juan Martinez said, come on,
There must be a serial killer. Over 30-something bodies? No way. And this doesn't even take into account the amount of posts and comments on social media regarding the potential of a serial killer, too. Now, officially, even though you're seeing this many bodies, to give you an idea, reportedly 35 bodies found in 2024, 34 last year, the explanation has consistently pointed to broader, heartbreaking social issues. Houston's significant homeless population, mental health problems, substance abuse issues, the simple, dangerous geography of the bayous themselves. They are dangerous. And according to Cron, former Houston City Council member at large, Letitia Plummer, has addressed bayou safety, saying, everyone in my mind should have a part in this. All of us need to come together at a table and figure out what can be done. She added, in a lot of areas where there's a lot of jogging and walking, there should be emergency phones that someone could call immediately. Lighting should be a big conversation. And as we extend toward the East End, those were recommendations my office made last year. The Bayou Partnership has been open to those conversations. Now, she indicated this requires coordination between parties like the city, the Harris County Flood Control District, the Houston Parks.
It's a big city. So Houston, let's see here. Let's do some mathing. Houston, okay, so let's go here. Usually they have kind of like a legend here. We know it's in the United States. It's in Texas. Counties include Harris, Fort Bend, and Montgomery. It was incorporated into the June 5th, 1837, 188 years ago. Named after Sam Houston. Hold on a second here. The city is 670 square miles, land 640.44 square miles, 31.23 square miles of water. So that's a lot. That's a lot of water. It's about 105 feet above sea level. There's 2.3 million people living in the city. Estimate 2.314. That's 2023. Sixth biggest city in the North America. Fourth in the United States. First in Texas. So it's the biggest state in Texas. Density. So here's some statistics. Urban densities. There's a lot of people. So 30 people out of 2.3 million people. That's not a lot, right? Let's see here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 area codes in Houston. All right, so let's go back to this here.
Board, Buffalo Bayou Partnership. And before I even go further into this, before I bring an expert, a criminologist to talk about all this, here's another fact.
It's JCN. JCN's here. Class and Crime. Awesome. Good to see you. That's awesome that she's here. Great stuff. Class and Crime. Check it out. She's great. Let's see here. I wonder if they have a remote adapter to attach to them. You're talking about the earbuds. That's a lot of water. Yeah, it's a lot of water for sure. That's Houston, because I know, I've been covering the Lady Bird Lake unalivings too. But great channel there with Class and Crime. Awesome stuff with her.
I got to mention. According to data that was obtained by KPRC2 from the Harris County Medical Examiner's Office, nearly 40% of the roughly 200 bodies that were recovered from Houston area bayous since 2017 have an officially undetermined cause of death. So that means, seemingly, that after investigations and autopsies, forensic experts, authorities can't conclusively say whether this was an accident, whether this was a homicide, whether this was a case of self-harm. And to be clear, according to KHOU 11, with respect to the 34 bodies found last year in Houston in the bayous, only one was ruled a homicide.
And I think some people take the word undetermined to be a little bit more, corrupt or conspiratory than undetermined just means they don't know. And a lot of times, especially in water and bayous, and if they, depending on how long they've been there, sometimes you just can't tell. There's just no way to tell. It's water and heat and humidity can do some strange things, especially with the animals running around. And sometimes you just don't know.
9 were accidental, so drowning, toxic exposures. 19 remain undetermined deaths, 2 self-harm, and 3 still pending. So I want to bring on criminologist Dr. Debbie Goodman. She is the director and associate professor of the Criminal Justice Degree Program at St. Thomas University in Miami, Florida. She is a nationally recognized and accomplished author of academic crime books that are used worldwide. And she is our guest right now. So happy to have you, doctor. Thanks for taking the time. Okay, so I want to start with this new one. What do you make of the finding of this new body in 2026?
Right. Well, as always, Jesse, thank you so much for having me on. This case really, I think we would have to use terms like crazy, wild, shocking. But here again lies the hesitation with the word or term serial killer. Because, Jesse, when we look back at the data analytics, when we last spoke,
I remember for the longest time, I know Charles will probably know this, there's been a lot of times where they've had SKers and they've kind of kept that secret. Like they haven't really, I think, was it the Golden State? I think it was either the Golden State guy or the Green River guy. They kept secret that there was an actual SKer around for years. There was another one too it was either Oregon or Washington over the last few years that they were saying no SKer, no SKer, no SKer, and then finally they came out and said so. It's happened before where they've been quiet about it. They've been saying no, and then it turns around there is. And I'm pretty sure it was either the Green River Killer or one of them.
2024, 30-something deaths. 2025, another 30 plus. And here we are with a death in 2026. But the question is, of all of these circumstances, which ones potentially of the nearly 70 are actually murder? So at the moment, we know of one, right? We know of Mr. John Morgan, 44 years old. The medical examiner did the report and the findings indicated blunt force trauma and internal bleeding. But when we look at the other circumstances, Jesse, so many of whom have been in the category of undetermined, they can't decide. So as terrible as all this is, and I think those are some of those talking points, right? It's terrible and it's tragic. But when we really narrow in on this and the levels of specificity, is it criminal? Because that would mean we have unlawful deaths. Now, I would still maintain that some of these other factors are at play here. Sociological issues, psychological issues. It is quite likely that among the nearly 70 victims, many of whom may have been in vulnerable positions. What does that mean? Perhaps the homeless citizens, the individuals who may have mental health difficulties, and those potentially with drug and alcohol issues. And so some of these deaths may be accidental, some may be as a result of self-induced harm, and others, of course, as we know, have been declared as undetermined. But can we really say they're criminal, an unlawful death? Questionable.
100% right. I want to get to that a little bit more. Just focusing, since all eyes now are on this new death, right? And I say new, look, the body was found in 2026. We don't know. Although this is interesting. So there's a couple of things we do seem to know about this body, right? They said, authorities, that it's possible the body was not in the water long. The body was fully clothed.
That's interesting, because the quicker they can find the body in the water, the quicker they can probably determine the cause. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's not always the case. But if this one here wasn't in the body long and they've mentioned that it's undetermined after the medical examiner gets done with this, then who knows?
found by a maintenance crew, by the way. Let's start right there. What does that tell you about the circumstances of this death, or at least how the body was found in that water? I don't know if deposited by someone else or was a result of something else, but somehow was found in that area. It tells us something, right?
Sure. Well, again, if
I mean, they just recently started, within the last 10, 15 years of associating a lot of these so-called highway unalivings to truck drivers. So, it's possible that there's numerous amounts of SKers doing stuff like this too, or numerous amounts of people that are doing this as opposed to just one person, right?
if we really look at the geography, Jesse, that equates to 2,500 miles of waterways. So what do we know about water and body submersion? Well, again, it's difficult to really ascertain at what point or part of the geography did the body enter the water. Again, was it a slip and fall? Was somebody swimming and drowned? Were they intoxicated or with some type of narcotic in the system and didn't know what they were doing? But I do think what this speaks to in this totality of the Bayou area is really all eyes are on this case. So for the maintenance workers to have found the body, they did the right thing. They reported it. That's very important. Fully clothed, potentially more or less a body intact, would suggest the submersion in the water would not have been as lengthy as potentially the other 60 plus victims here. So we are still awaiting autopsy on the cause of death. Now, if and when, Jesse, we would have something along the lines that a medical examiner would point to blunt force trauma, strangulation, gunshot, a knife wound, then I would definitely be moving in a different direction and think, wow, we do have murders and we do have these unlawful deaths. But at the moment, with the exception of the one individual, Mr. Morgan, so much of this is undetermined.
When they
Okay, so I just wanted to share that a little bit. I'll keep following that. I've been following it for, I don't know, at least a year now, especially the ones up at Lady Bird Lake. But these here too. A couple more things and then I'll get the hell out of here. Let's see here. I don't want to play this one here because this is kind of like a cold case here. So let's see here. So Illinois human remains found in 1966 have finally been identified as a California teen. 60 years after his remains were found in Illinois, investigators have identified Geneseo John Doe as Ronald Joe Cole, a California missing teen since 1965. 2 years before I was born, in 1965.
Technology.
True Coffee has.
Whoops, let me back this up.
CO is finally solved. Human remains discovered on a farm back in 1966 have now been identified thanks to advances in forensic technology.
True Coffee has more on the discovery and what it means for the farmer who owns the land where the body was found.
It was on this farm in rural Geneseo where a body was found back in 1966. Now, the farmer that owned the land at the time still lives here, and he sat down with us to tell us what he remembers. The body was discovered on Arlen Grader's farm near Interstate 80 in Geneseo. For decades, the mystery went unanswered, leaving the community with only questions. But now, thanks to advances in forensic technology, those remains have been identified as 19-year-old Ronald J. Cole of California, finally bringing long-awaited answers to a case many believed would never be solved. But it means more to Grader, who was in his early 20s when the body was found on his land.
We had kind of put in the back of our mind, this happened a long time ago. When the body was found, it was a shock. I guess everybody's looking for closure. So anytime you can get closure, it's a good thing.
The investigation remains active and ongoing as the death is being looked at as a homicide. In Geneseo, Drew Coffey, WQAD News 8.
Okay,
Now,
so
the DNA Doe Project played an important role in cracking the case and identifying Ronald Joe Cole.
Haley Bickelhop explains how they used relatives' DNA to identify Cole, why this case was turned around quickly, and which other case is being investigated in our area.
Genetic genealogy, as it's commonly known, is a technique used to identify people of unknown parentage or adoptees.
Charlotte's such an amazing person. We love having her here. We understand she has a life too, so she can't always be on here, but she's definitely missed when she's not here. And I try to send out my feeler birds to make sure you're okay when you're not here for a while. But we love Charlotte here. Charlotte's amazing. She's been here since the beginning, so I really appreciate her being here all the time. Hope you're safe. Hope you're well. Go back to here.
We've kind of taken that one step further and developed this technique of theirs called investigative genetic genealogy.
Matthew Waterfield and the DNA Doe Project were brought into the Geneseo case in 2024 by the Henry County Sheriff's Office. Their technique compares DNA from an unidentified person through a database called GEDmatch. It's a collection of a couple million DNA samples.
Think Ancestry or 23andMe, except a lot smaller. And members of the public who have taken a DNA test with a DNA testing company can actually upload their DNA profile to that GEDmatch database.
In Cole's case, the organization got a hit. Someone in the system was his second or third cousin.
Considering that Ronald Cole vanished over 60 years ago, the fact that we could solve this within 5 days was a great relief for us.
After finding that connection, the group then sorts through family trees, obituaries, newspapers, and yes, even Facebook. In this case, census records were key. In Cole's case, they found DNA matches in Kentucky and Tennessee, and they built the timelines forward and saw that they overlapped in Indiana. That's where Cole's parents were married, and when they noticed, he'd fallen off the radar.
With this case, not only had he been reported missing, but investigators were still looking for him. Those clues made it very easy for us to realize that we did in fact have the right person.
While cracking this case from 6 decades ago, the organization's team found newspaper reports in which David Lefevre, Cole's brother, confessed to family that he had killed his brother. In Moline, Haley Bickelhop, WQAD News 8.
Ooh. What did you say?
In Moline, Haley Bickelhop, WQAD News 8.
Bickelhop? Is that what she said?
The DNA Doe Project is actively researching a homicide case now in Clinton County, Iowa. Back in 1975, a fisherman found the remains of an African-American girl, and the organization hopes they'll be able to identify her soon.
That's awesome. That'd be great. Okay, one more thing. Hold on one second. Let me do this here. Anytime I make a funny, I'm going to do this here. I love that. I freaking love that. That is the best thing ever. The gong. All right, so let's hold on a second. I got one more thing I'm going to cover, then I'm going to get the hell out of here. This is the case I said we are going to cover a little bit earlier here. I don't know what happened. I don't know. We'll find out eventually at some point here. Oh Lord. Did I just wake you up? I'm telling you, they should have never put that stuff on there, man. Hold on a second. Okay, so this is the case of Linda Brown. And I'm not saying, because I don't think they've come out and said anything about what happened yet. But I just want to kind of go over the whole mental illness thing here. I'm not saying that's what happened here, but it's kind of going in that direction here. But Linda Brown, we covered this case last week. Missing Chicago teacher has been found alive. Family confirms. And this actually happened right after I covered it too. So that's another sucky part. But so this is just terrible news.
Heartbreaking update. The family of Linda Brown is now confirming she has been found dead. Let's go to Leslie Moreno to get the latest on this case. Leslie?
Hey guys, good evening. Yeah, certainly not the outcome we were hoping for. Family says Linda's body was recovered from the water not too long ago. Let's give you a closer look at the scene here. This is on 31st and Harbor, where you can see crews have been stationed out here for a few hours right now.
I want to back up a little bit here because this was a pedestrian bridge or something like that here. And apparently she was last seen driving walking up. She parked and then she walked up here. So apparently, wherever this happened here, obviously where the cops are here. Now I don't know if she slipped in here or I don't think they're saying much.
Give you a closer look at the scene here. This is on 31st and Harbor, where you can see crews have been stationed out here for a few hours right now. Part of that area there has been closed off, and crews are focusing on that docking area there. A lot of police activity right now. 53-year-old Linda Brown was reported missing on January 3rd. Police say she was last seen in her Bronzeville neighborhood. Volunteers and family members spent all weekend canvassing the lakefront along 31st Street Beach in Burnham Park.
Been working abroad for a few months, came home to Blighty and can barely recognize the place. Think I got too used to snow. Well, we're glad you're home safe.
After surveillance footage showed Linda walking towards a pedestrian bridge over the expressway shortly before disappearing, which is
Just so sad. She was a CPS teacher too, so that's even worse. It's tough to find good teachers, man.
not too far from where crews are right now. Linda was a special education teacher at Healy Elementary. She was, according to family, on a mental health leave prior to her disappearance. Again, certainly not the outcome we were hoping for. We are in close contact with Linda's family. Our thoughts and our prayers are, of course, with all of Linda's family and friends and everyone who knew her. We'll toss it back to you guys, and we'll have an update for you coming up tonight at 5.
That sucks. That's just terrible. It's oh, that's terrible. But I just wanted to play that because we covered that. I think on our last live. I'm not sure whether the last live or I've been working abroad for a few months too. Almost got her. All right. So is should be going on after me. Let me know if you're going on after me. I'm gonna get out of here. My uncle owned a skating rink in Florida. Since when do they have skating rinks in Florida? All right, so I'm gonna get out of here. You guys are awesome. I appreciate everybody coming in. I've already been here for 3 hours. Can you believe it? Oh, God. Thank everybody for coming in. Charles, thanks a lot, man. Appreciate it. You're awesome. Big Fish, you're amazing. Oh, that's right. You've been streaming the whole show. That's right. Free Peach, you're awesome. Big Fish, thank you so much. Paula, you're amazing. Regular skating, oh, not ice. There's regular skating? Or you mean roller skating? Southern Gal's amazing. She's got amazing stuff. She's arguably one of the greatest content creators out there. She does great work with The Missing. She just she's a peach. We love her here. Gotta make it the Church of Owl. Thank you, unindicted co-conspirator. Appreciate that. Nicole, thank you so much. You have free rinks, ice rinks in Florida? Really? What the hell's going on down there? You want ice, man? We can give you ice. We got plenty of ice up here. We'll just pump it down there. Let's see here. Charlotte, it's always good to see you, Charlotte. Charlotte's just an amazing human being. She's been here forever. She's just great. Love to see you here. Stay safe. Are you in Canada, Owl, too? I'm close. I could probably throw a rock and hit Canada. That's how close I am. But no, I'm not. Technically, I'm not in Canada. Kind of like the same food. Let's see here. Who else is Free Peach? Thank you so much for coming in. I know that Lita Joe was in here. Carol was in here. Tracy's amazing. She was in here too. Tracy is just an amazing person. It's always good to see her here. It's good to see everybody here. Who else was here? I know that Jocelyn was here. It was good to see Jocelyn tonight. Jocelyn's amazing. We got a whole bunch of new people, so that's good news. When I say Tracy, I mean Quad. Mustang was in here. Mustang's great. Mustang's always it's always good to see Mustang here. So a lot of people I haven't seen here for a while. Hide current comment. I'm going to miss some people here. Mino Dino was in here. Mino Dino's great. It's always good to see Mino Dino here. I hope Heather's doing well. I haven't seen Heather for a while, but I'm pretty sure she's living it up now. She doesn't need little tiny fish like me anymore. I did see the Tom Webster thing. I didn't see that comment yet. I did see that. Let's see here. Who else was in here tonight? We had Amy G in here. Daisy Asks was in here. She's amazing. We had Brian in here. Hopefully he picked up his 46 subs. We got Class and Crime was in here. There's JCN right there, Class and Crime. She's awesome. She's got a great channel. Who else was in here? Probably going to miss some people. Apologize for that. I should actually just write these down. But hope everybody has a good day of football today. Let's see here. Hide current comment. If I miss people, I apologize for that. I want to thank everybody that watches the replay. I know there's a ton of people that watched the replay here. So Nicole was in here. Good to see Nicole. I probably just said that. Let's see here. Shibby, thank you for coming in. Thank you for being on your channel too there. I think that's it. I think I'm going to get out of here. If I missed you, apologize. Let's see here. Scroll down to the bottom. All right, so I'm going to get out of here. You guys have been great. Whatever you guys do, don't die. Stay safe, and I'll see you guys next week at some point, probably same time, same bat channel here. All right, I'm going to get out of here. Let me play my outro. I'll see you guys all later. Like I said, have a great week. Let's see here. Hold on a second. I don't know why I have to keep doing this. All right, I'll see you guys later.